franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports!
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Way back! Way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Trying to get back on track. The Blue Jays led early yesterday, but ultimately dropped the series opener against the Reds 6-3. Toronto tries to rein it in, having lost 3 out of the last 4. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman, alongside former Major Leaguer Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer, and Luke Schwadron and Stephen Coyle are our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Scarborough, on Shepherd Avenue, on St. Clair Avenue, and on Midwest Road. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Jose Berrios has been one of the Blue Jays' best recently, bringing back-to-back 7-inning, 1-run starts into tonight. Meanwhile, the Reds righty Carson Spires tries to salvage a tough month of August, where his ERA has been almost 9. Berrios gets the ball first coming up after the break. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us today for the Toronto Blue Jays game. We really appreciate you guys being in the chat, cheering on our Toronto Blue Jays or rooting on the other team. Makes it more fun with a little bit of trash talk. Really appreciate you being here. Please take a second to make sure you've smashed that like button down below. Exit out of the chat. See if you've hit that thumbs up. If you have, thank you. If you haven't, come on, just do it now. It's free. It's an easy way to get more fans here in the chat to hang out with us. Let's get back to the baseball. Go Blue Jays, go. We'll see you in the chat.
Game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Sirius XM NFL Radio hit the road for a special town hall with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Bruce Murray and Alex Smith talk to the Super Bowl champions, including Coach Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, as they get ready to defend their title.
Day-by-day process of just getting better. Guys want to be great, and I think that's the best thing about it.
Hear this exclusive Sirius XM NFL Radio town hall from Kansas City Chiefs training camp anytime on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The UFC is on Sirius XM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on Sirius XM Fight Nation Channel 156.
He does such a good job of preparing for a season and taking care of himself in between. With him and Kevin and Chris, it's a normal start, every day. We're going to try to, if we can get him extra rest, we will. But the days they're pitching, they're kind of ready, like I said, for about 100 if we need them. He works really, really hard every single day throughout the calendar year, not just in the season, but in the wintertime too. He really he understands how unique and how important it is to be a starting pitcher in the major leagues, and we're lucky to have that kind of guy kind of leading the charge here, and it rubs off on everybody.
That was manager John Schneider before today's game talking about Jose Berrios, who's again flirting with 200 innings in a season in his career. He enters his 26th start tonight, just under 150 innings pitched. And recently, Chris, they've been very high-quality innings for the righty.
Yeah, he's only given up 2 earned runs in his last 14 innings pitched. I think the biggest reason for that kind of resurgent, he was great early on and then kind of just okay in the middle of the season, and now he's great again. I think he's found that slurve. You see a tight spin on that slurve. You see more vertical depth to it, which I love when it comes to breaking balls. And then, of course, he's still got that mid-90s sinker.
Slurve will be a big pitch today. The Reds love fastballs. They don't love breaking balls. That's Chris LaRue. By the way, I'm Ben Schulman. And speaking of the Reds, we'll get to their lineup in a sec. First, let's look at the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Blue Jays in the basement of the AL East at 58 and 67. The Reds are now tied for third in the NL Central after their win yesterday. They go to 61 and 64, defeating the Blue Jays to tie the Chicago Cubs, and the Reds are 5.5 out of a playoff spot, still trying to push and make something happen late in the season. Let's take a look at who is driving that playoff push for the Reds. Here's David Bell's lineup.
Well, leading off for those Reds and DHing is Jonathan India. Playing shortstop and batting second will be Ellie De La Cruz. Batting third and catching is Tyler Stevenson. In the cleanup spot is TJ Friedel. He'll be in center field. Batting fifth is Spencer Steer. He'll play left field. At first base, batting sixth is Ty France. Batting seventh is Jake Fraley. He'll be in right field. At third base, batting eighth is Noel V. Marte. He'll be at third base. Batting ninth is Santiago Espinal, playing second base. And pitching today for the Cincinnati Reds is Carson Spires. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off and DHing is George Springer. Batting second, playing center field is Dalton Varsho. Batting third is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll be at third base today. In the cleanup spot is Will Wagner. He'll be at second base. Behind the plate is Alejandro Kirk. He'll hit fifth. Batting sixth is Spencer Horwitz. He'll be at first base. In left field is Joey Loperfido. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is Leo Jimenez. He'll be at shortstop. And in right field, batting ninth is Addison Barger. On the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays is Jose Berrios.
30-year-old Puerto Rican right-hander getting warm-up pitches in before his 26th start of the year, 11-9 with a 3.85 earned run average. Right now, the best ERA in the Blue Jays rotation. And we mentioned how good he's been recently. He went 7 innings, allowed only 2 hits and 1 run to the Angels back on the 14th. Navigated those 7 innings in just 84 pitches.
Yeah, and some people might say, oh, it was against the Angels, it was against the A's, but I'm not even looking at the opponent. I'm looking at the stuff. The stuff was better, the command was better, and like I said in the pregame show, that slurve that he struggled with all season long, he seems to have found it.
We'll see if he uses it here against Jonathan India, who leads off today for the Reds. India at the top of the order as usual. Reds in their road grays, Blue Jays in the home whites. India points his bat up to the sky and thrusts it out toward Berrios. Now twirls it around and hoists it above his right shoulder. Berrios standing tall, kicks and delivers home, and the first pitch of the day is hit foul, strike one. Time of the first pitch today is 7:08 Eastern. It's chilly in downtown Toronto, and they've decided to keep the roof closed because of it. 19 degrees outside. Berrios twists back and deals. Swing and a soft liner headed to center. That's going to get down for a base hit. And India is aboard to start the game after going hitless yesterday.
Just a little get-me-over sinker right there, 92 miles an hour. Just poking it into center field for a leadoff base hit.
That'll put a runner on for Ellie De La Cruz, who we didn't see do a ton at the plate yesterday. He did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly and walked once, but he was 0 for 3 on the day. De La Cruz, a .257 hitter, stands 6'5", a switch hitter, batting from the left side against Berrios. Righty kicks and delivers. First pitch up and away, ball one. 28 doubles for De La Cruz. That leads the Reds. 21 home runs also leads the team. And he leads baseball with 59 stolen bases. 1-0. Low. 2 balls, no strikes. India leading off first. No score. Top of the first inning. Berrios peeks over his left shoulder, delivers home. Swing and a miss. Got him out in front on the changeup to make it 2-1.
And how about that? That shows you just how comfortable he is, especially early on in this ball game, throwing a 2-0 changeup. I love that right there.
I thought you might like that. 3 fastballs for Berrios, a slurve and a change. 2-1. Swing and a fly ball, center field. Varsho started back, now races in and makes the catch. And there's 1 out. That one was off the end of the bat, and fielders in the outfield for a long time have said sometimes that looks like it's deeper than it really is.
Yeah, if Dalton Varsho is frozen by that base hit or by that fly ball off the end of the bat, that tells you just how hard it is to see that off the bat. He kind of took a step back and then sprinted in to make that catch.
Varsho, one of the outfielders who gets the best jumps in baseball, didn't have his best jump there, but recovers. Here's the catcher, Tyler Stevenson, with a runner on first, 1 out. Berrios' pitch. Strike 1. We're here in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 0-1. Swing and a bouncer to first. Horwitz picks it up, steps on the bag 1, throw to second. It's a tag play, and Jimenez slaps the tag on India to end the inning. A 3-6 double play, and Berrios faces the minimum after giving up the leadoff single. No score as we go to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no...
Behold, the mightiest assembly ever witnessed. We are all gathered in the darkness. Together we can be the light. I call upon every crew. We need you all to join our fight for a new SickKids, and we need you now. Who's with us? Who is with us?
Are you with us, insiders? Let's go. You heard the man. Let's donate some money to SickKids. Anything that you can is a huge help. Cheers, insiders. Let's change the world.
Do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the first inning, no score, Blue Jays and Reds, and Carson Spires on, making his 15th appearance of the season, 9th start, settles onto the rubber. Into the wind is pitched to George Springer. Is a fastball for strike 1. Spires 4-4 this year with a .455 earned run average. His 0-1. Fastball again, this time misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spires, 26 years old, 6'3", the pitch. Check swing liner foul into the backstop, 1-2.
Spires doesn't really have overpowering stuff. We'll see the 4-seam fastball, 92-93, the sweeper, the cutter, the sinker, and the changeup. Pretty standard stuff.
Fastball is going to be low 90s. Doesn't throw anything slower than 80. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Four-seamer at the top of the zone, gets by Springer, 1 out.
And that's the thing that Spires does really well. He only has 15 base on balls in 65 and a third innings. That tells you that he makes good pitches when he has to. That four-seam fastball at the top of the zone really tied up George Springer. He's a command guy.
He's had an interesting route to becoming a starting pitcher in the major leagues. The right-hander deals to Dalton Varsho, who swings at the first pitch and hits it high and deep to center field. Backing up TJ Friedl at the track. It's off his glove and down on the warning track. Varsho around second, headed to third, and he'll stop there. Almost like Friedl lost it in the lights or something. The roof is closed, and he very awkwardly went back, tumbled as he tried to catch it, and let it drop onto the track for a Varsho triple.
Well, it looked like he had a beat on it. I thought he was going to make an easy play and then kind of stumbled. It's almost like his legs got tied up. I don't know if he lost that ball in the lights or the stands, or he just lost his footing, but it was really awkward. Goes tumbling into that center field wall.
Big break for the Blue Jays. Scoreless game, bottom of 1 out, and the pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit back foul, 0-1. Infield is in for the Reds with the runner Varsho on third. So Spires in trouble early, although a lot of his career has been dealing with adversity. Former undrafted player in 2020. Next pitch to Guerrero, called strike, 0-2. As you may remember, 2020's draft was reduced to only 5 rounds from it being 40 before that. And Spires went undrafted. 0-2. Inside.
Means I would have been undrafted too. 7th round.
A lot of guys would have been undrafted.
Wow.
I mean, it was a pretty tough move.
I forgot about that. That really is hard on players.
And they capped the signing bonus for undrafted players at $20,000, well below what a 6th rounder would get. 1-2. Is bounced to the right side. The first baseman, France, has it. He'll look back Varsho and go to the bag for the second out. Varsho does not move from third.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Reds had the infield in. Ty France was well off the first base bag. That was actually a well-placed ground ball from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Just unlucky that Ty France was kind of playing in that hole there on the right side of the infield.
Huge out for the Reds. Means that now the Blue Jays need a base hit if they're going to try and score Varsho from third, or at least they need Will Wagner, the cleanup hitter today, to get on. Right on left, the pitch from Spires. Called strike 1. Varsho leading off in foul territory in the view of the righty, who winds and delivers. And the next pitch is up top, ball 1. Only the 7th Major League game for Will Wagner, and he is hitting 4th for the Blue Jays. 9 for 19 with 3 doubles to begin his Major League career. 1-1. High ball 2. What do you think about this move?
Well, theoretically, I mean, I think it's the best move for John Schneider just because he's the guy that's getting on base the most. He's the guy that's driving in runs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. should be on base.
2-1 hit on the ground, through the hole into right field, a base hit. In to score Varsho, and Will Wagner delivers right on cue. 1-0 Blue Jays.
I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't understand it just because he's not a true power hitter. When you think of that cleanup spot, you think of a guy that just hits home runs. But if Will Wagner is going to continue to find holes, continue to drive guys in, that's his 4th RBI of the season, why not have him there?
4th RBI in 7 career Major League games and already 10 hits. He's on first, 1-0 Blue Jays. The pitch to Alejandro Kirk misses low, ball 1.
Still has yet to hit his first big league homer, and he's in the cleanup spot.
He got pretty close yesterday. Hit one out to left
I don't know
field.
if that counts.
It definitely doesn't count. Definitely doesn't count. But it was close. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a foul back by Kirk, 1-1. Alejandro Kirk batting 5th and catching for the Blue Jays today. .238 hitter, 10 doubles, 3 home runs. Kirk playing in now his 74th game of the season. Throw over to first. Wagner back in with a dive. Hasn't attempted a stolen base in the majors yet. He has a quick conversation, does Wagner, with Mark Budzinski, the first base coach, and takes his lead. In the set, Spires kicks and delivers. Kirk hits it on the ground, up the middle, backhanded by Espinal at second. Long throw to first, but he beats Kirk there to end the inning. The Blue Jays on the board after a good luck triple by Dalton Varsho. Will Wagner pounds one through the right side to drive him in and makes it 1-0 Blue Jays at the end of one. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The music.
The history.
The legend.
The Beatles.
It's a good message. It's love. It's peace. And I think that's what everybody wants.
The Beatles channel.
Peace and love to you all.
Hello, it's Paul McCartney, and you are listening to me.
The Beatles channel.
The coolest channel in the world.
On Channel 18, or listen anytime and anywhere on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
I'm Peter Bergen, a national security journalist, author, and host of the Audible podcast In the Room. Each week, I bring you direct from the source reporting on the most important and perplexing issues facing our world today, like how local election officials can ensure the integrity of the voting process, why people are drawn to conspiracy theories, and whether international sanctions ever really make a difference. Just search In the Room in the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Tune to SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 all year long to hear expert opinions and analysis from former players, coaches, and executives.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 1-0 Blue Jays. TJ Friedel leads off for the Reds in the top of the second. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. way in at third, and the pitch from Berrios. Strike one. Vlad is maybe 10 feet onto the infield turf right now, almost even with the mound, as he's walked in watching the bunt. Right on left pitch. Swing and a pop-up to the left, 0-2. That'll back Guerrero up onto the dirt once again. Heavy shift to pull for the Blue Jays. Shortstop Leo Jimenez playing as up the middle as you're allowed. 0-2 pitch. Up and in, ball one.
Pretty good spot right there. 93 up at the hands of TJ Friedel. We saw him yesterday hit an absolute bomb to right field. You have to be careful with him if he drops that barrel.
Friedel had a big day yesterday. 1-2. Swing and a pop-up. Right side, backing up Wagner into right field. Called off by Barger, who makes the catch in shallow right for the first out. Ken from Dartmouth is a dedicated supporter of Jays Care Foundation and the first ever 50-50 winner from Nova Scotia. He won nearly $200,000, and the first thing he did was book a trip for him and his family to Toronto to watch the Blue Jays play ball. What would you do if you won the Jays Care 50-50 jackpot? Find out and get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Spencer Steer is up, takes high, ball one. 1-0 Blue Jays, one out, top of the second.
What would you do, Ben?
There's cars, there's fast food restaurants.
That's irresponsible.
Yeah, it is. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. What I think I'd actually do, and I might have said this earlier in the season, some sort of lakefront property.
That's just a down payment, my friend.
I'm okay with that. That's further than I got right now. I'm not even starting the down payment. 1-1 pitch, hit on the ground by Steer up the middle. Backhanded by Wagner. Second baseman throws to first. Dug out by Horwitz. Short hopped him on the forehand side. The first baseman makes the play. 2 down.
That was a pretty nice play from Will Wagner. Not really known as a defensive specialist, but he goes on the shortstop side of second base, makes a little short hop play, ranging to his right, makes a good throw across the diamond. Spencer Horwitz with the good pick at first base.
Interesting infield configuration, to say the least, for the Blue Jays. Didn't come into this year expecting to see a lot of Horwitz, Wagner, Jimenez, Guerrero first to third. But it's worked so far today. Ty France, the first baseman for the Reds, takes high ball one.
Well, I tell you what, I've been impressed with Will Wagner defensively so far. Definitely impressed with Leo Jimenez. And absolutely impressed with Vlad at third base. He's made some tough plays over there.
1-0. France takes outside. 2 balls, no strikes. France a .232 hitter, 11 homers between Seattle and Cincinnati. John Schneider had said today that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not only going to play third today, but probably will play third tomorrow and maybe even a day or two after that. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul back into the screen.
I've seen enough from him this season where I'm comfortable with him over there. Is he that Gold Glover? Probably not, but I think with more reps over there, he'll become more comfortable and maybe turn into that Gold Glover that he was at first base.
1-0 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bases empty, and the 2-1 to France outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. And John Schneider said right now he's just looking for Vlad to make the routine plays. If he can make those plays over at third, Blue Jays will be happy. Guerrero playing deep near the left field turf. 3-1 to France. Outside ball 4.
And we've seen that a lot from Jose Berrios this year. He gets 2 quick outs in an inning and then loses the next hitter. 4 straight balls or a 3-1 count and another ball, just like he did right there. But there's not only a mechanical reason for that, but there's a mental reason. You kind of relax and you're like, okay, I have 2 outs. Now I don't really have to stay as focused. And generally speaking, that's what happens.
First pitch to Jake Fraley. Cut and a miss at a changeup. 0-1. And he gets right back on track with one of his better pitches of the day. Fraley bats left, was leaning forward on the change. 0-1 to the .274 hitter. Check swing. Pitch was a little bit low, a second straight change. It's 1-1.
He's thrown some good changeups today. Almost split finger-like changeups. A lot of depth to them.
Roberto Ortiz, the home plate ump, thought about calling that one a strike. Mark Rippinger at first, Alex McKay second, Lance Barrett at third. And the 1-1 pitch fouled back, 1-2.
You know who would have called that a strike?
Lance Barrett?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was on the tall side for zones yesterday, both top and bottom. But now he's at third, where you'll make about the least calls of any umpire in the game. 1-0 Blue Jays on the RBI single by Will Wagner. Runner on first, 2 outs, top of the second, and the pitch. Fraley swings and hits it in the air, foul, down the left side, bouncing into the netting. Some injuries have limited Fraley this year, 91 games. Decent average, mentioned, 274. Not a ton of power this year, only 3 home runs. 1-2. Off the plate inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Berrios set, looking in. Twist back, fires home. And the 2-2 pitch misses low, full count.
Another changeup. 2 changeups in a row to Fraley. Not really competitive, not really like the depth ones that he had thrown earlier on in this ball game, but you have to throw a strike here. You don't want to walk 2 guys in a row.
He's mostly stayed away from the fastball. Fraley is a big fastball hitter, but he might not have a choice here on 3-2. Ty France is going to get the head start from first. Horwitz not holding him on. With 2 outs, the payoff pitch from Jose Berrios. Check swing, fastball up and away, appeal to third. He didn't go, says Lance Barrett, and that'll be back-to-back walks here with 2 outs in the second.
Not ideal for Jose Berrios, but you have to refocus here. You have to pretend like you haven't just walked 2 batters in a row and there's runners on first and second. You still have 2 outs. You make a good pitch here, you're out of this inning.
Alejandro Kirk in front of the plate right now, just to give a quick pitch calm sign to the defense about what they do in a double steal. Reds run a lot. This isn't the typical situation that they'd run, but you never know. Noelvi Marte is up at the plate, third baseman today. First and second, 2 outs, and the pitch is a fastball for strike one.
It's that easy, Ben. You throw strike one with all kinds of movement at 94, you'll probably get some guys out.
Berrios in the set, ready to go again. A look at second base, and now the 0-1. Swing and a line drive, left field, and that'll get down for a base hit. Lo Perfido plays it on the hop. Throw coming to the plate as Francis around third and slides in safely. RBI single for Noelvi Marte, and it's 1-1.
Well, Marte didn't get all of that one. He actually hit it off the end of the bat, a little weak flare in front of Lo Perfido in left field. Not a bad pitch. A slurve that was at the bottom of the strike zone. Marte went down and got it and just hit it off the end of that bat. I'm pretty frustrated if I'm Jose Berrios.
And Alejandro Kirk out now to talk to Berrios. And are you frustrated because it's the walks or the weak contact or a mix of both?
Well, I'm frustrated because of that decent pitch and then the weak contact, but it all comes back to those 2 walks. You get 2 quick outs in an inning. You can't walk the first guy and then walk the second guy. That's just pitching 101.
Another good applause today for the first at-bat of Santiago Espinal, who got a very good applause yesterday, gets some claps today, playing now against the Blue Jays for the second time. Reds' second baseman today settles into the righty box. The pitch home is a fastball for strike one. Espinal was 1 for 4 yesterday, a double and a run scored. Also reached on an error late in the game. 0-1. Fastball again for a strike on the outside corner. 2 perfect pitches, and it's 0-2.
And you mentioned yesterday that Espinal is red hot. He hit .432 in July, and he's hitting .346 in August.
He's hitting about .460 in his last 19 games. There are a few hotter than him in baseball right now. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Berrios goes up top with 96 to get Espinal, but the Reds get on the board. 2 walks and a single with 2 outs make it 1-1 middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the back foot slider. That's a strikeout for Pop.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the second inning at Rogers Center. 1-1 ball game between the Blue Jays and the Reds. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Spencer Horwitz leads off. Carson Spires deals home, and the first pitch is called strike 1. Horwitz, a .260 hitter, leads off this inning. 6 home runs for the lefty swinger. Spires 0-1. Swing and a mile-high pop-up. Takes a look at the roof and then comes down near second base where it's caught by Espinal. 1 out. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Collect air miles on your next home improvement buys at Timbermart. And hey, make it a double play by scoring even more air miles when you purchase with your Timbermart credit card. For details, visit Timbermart, Canada's building center. One out, nobody on. Joey Loperfido up in a 1-1 game. Spires pitch. High, ball one. Mentioned for Spires last inning that it was an unconventional route to being a starting pitcher right now in the majors, taking over a rotation spot mid-year. 1-0. Swing and a liner, fair ball, headed to right field and bouncing into the corner. Loperfido around first, headed to second. He's around second, headed to third, and he will get there with a stand-up triple. Second triple as a Blue Jay for Loperfido, and the Blue Jays' second triple of this ballgame.
Well, that was a great swing from Joey Loperfido. He ripped that ball past Ty France down the right field line. Jake Fraley actually thought that ball was going to ricochet off that short wall out there in foul territory. Would have had a double if he had made the proper play on that, but because he misjudged that baseball, Joey Loperfido's at third base.
And the infield is in for the Reds. Leo Jimenez up, swings and misses, strike one. First action for Jimenez since the 17th when he left the game against the Cubs with right knee soreness.
Good to see him back in the lineup.
Leo had said yesterday that he was feeling good, but they decided to give him one more day. Ernie Clement with the day off today. 0-1 pitch cut on and missed, 0-2. Spires trying to work out of trouble again. Right-handed pitcher gave up a triple with one out in the first, got the next out, but then gave up an RBI single to Will Wagner. 0-2. Called strike three. Fastball that was borderline at the knees. Jimenez slowly walks out of the box. He didn't think it was there. Could have gone either way, but Leo goes down.
Yeah, it was borderline, but I think it caught the bottom of that strike zone by a hair. If you're down in the count, you have to offer at that pitch. You have to at least try to foul it off. That's actually a very, very good pitch from Carson Spires.
So 2 outs, the infield back, and Addison Barger up with Loperfido on third. First pitch high, ball one. Well before Carson Spires was starting in the major leagues, he was a college-recruited quarterback in high school, also was playing third base rather than pitching. Was recruited to go to Clemson and ended up becoming a reliever at Clemson for the Tigers. Misses up top, and it's 2-0 on Addison Barger. A lot of guys in the majors are starters in college and go to relievers. Few are relievers that then transition into being starters. 2-0. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher, 2-1.
Yeah, I think this is pretty common knowledge, but it's very easy, not very easy, but easier to go from a starting pitcher to a reliever. It's really taxing on the body to go from a reliever, that 1 or 2 inning guy, to potentially throwing 100 pitches in a ball game. 2-1
pitch outside, 3-1. And then you add in that even if you were a college reliever, a lot of the time you were probably a high school starter. Spires wasn't even a high school pitcher, let alone starting games when he was 15, 16, 17. Righty set at the belt, kicks and delivers. Barger swings and powers it. Deep right field. Fraley back. That ball's off the top of the wall. Loperfido scores. Barger into second with an RBI double. Just missed a 2-run homer.
Well, I think that's the best swing of Addison Barger's young career. He absolutely smoked that ball off the top of the wall in right field. Just a hanging cutter from Spires at the top of that strike zone. What a pretty swing. I thought he was going to get that into that bullpen in right field. Just missed it by about 3 or 4 feet off that wall.
Blue Jays taking the lead back. Another 2-out RBI single from one of their rookies. Wagner in the first, RBI hit. This one not a single, almost a homer for Barger, who stands on second after the double. Here's George Springer at the top of the order, up with 2 outs. 2-1 Blue Jays. Infield shifts to the pull for the right-handed hitter. And the pitch. Inside, ball one.
That ball was absolutely smoked.
It was. Even by Barger's standards, that one was hit hard. 107 miles an hour off the bat. For Barger, his 8th double. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. And that's part of what's tantalizing about Barger. It has been wild and uncontrolled at times, but when he has a good swing on a ball, he hits it about as hard as anyone, not named Vladimir Guerrero. 1-1 pitch low, 2-1.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to give up on a guy like that. Yes, he struggled mightily and has had a little bit of struggles recently as well, but like you said, when he makes contact, when he swings through the zone and he makes the correct pitch choice, swing decision, I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Springer hammers the 2-1 down the left field line, deep and gone! Into the Blue Jay bullpen goes George Springer, his 15th home run of the season, and Toronto takes a 4-1 lead. Springer caught a hanging sweeper and absolutely smoked it, and the Blue Jays have blown it open a little bit in the second.
Yeah, that got out of here in a hurry. Like you said, a hanging breaking ball from Spires. George Springer drilled it into that bullpen in left field, just getting out of here. I thought Addison Bargers was getting out, and I thought George Springer's was going to hit the wall.
Springer hit it just a little bit harder, about 107.5 miles an hour over Barger's 106.5. And Springer snuck it over that light blue line at the top of the fence into the left field bullpen. A 15th home run of the season, and now a 3-run inning for Toronto. It's 4-1 Blue Jays. 2 outs and Dalton Varsho up. He tripled and scored in the first. Varsho's 7th triple of the season. Pitch from Spires, called strike. Last Blue Jay to put up 7 triples in a year was Teoscar Hernandez in 2018. 0-1. Swing and a bouncing ball, stopped at second by Espinal, turns and throws to first to end the inning. We've seen that before. A very nice play up the middle by Espinal, ends the frame, but the Blue Jays, with 3 extra base hits, score 3 runs. George Springer's 2-run homer caps it off, and it's 4-1 Toronto after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball cracked to center field, to the wall, to the track. It's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
4-1 Blue Jays, 3rd inning at Rogers Center. Jonathan India leads off for the Reds with Jose Berrios on the mound. First pitch, fastball for strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is the former Major League reliever Chris LaRue. And it's the top of the order for the Reds, India, De La Cruz, Stevenson. 0-1. Down and away. It's been a very healthy year for India, who didn't play more than 119 games each of the last 2 seasons, but this is his 117th, and we're still in August. 1-1. Swing and a liner down in left field, and that'll be a 2-hit day for India, who singled back in the first as well.
Yeah, another good swing from Jonathan India, 94 miles an hour, kind of over the middle of the plate, and he just drills it over Leo Jimenez at shortstop.
The former Rookie of the Year, he's shown this year again that when he's healthy, he can be very good.
Yeah, he's not having a bad season. I think he's just not living up to that Rookie of the Year, quote-unquote, hype. 250, 11 homers, 46 RBIs coming into today's ball game. I'll take that.
Leads the Reds in walks, on base a lot, and that helps when you have this guy behind you, Ellie De La Cruz, who can drive you in. Berrios' pitch. De La Cruz hits it back foul, 0-1. De La Cruz, though, not in his hottest part of the season, has slowed down a little bit from an early year surge. 0-1. Just misses the top of the zone, 1 ball, 1 strike. And part of that is guys are feeding him more junk than they were before. A lot of fastballs to start the year, and he hammers fastballs. 16 of his 21 home runs have come on fastballs, but the soft stuff, he's not as good at hitting. 1-1. Another heater from Berrios, misses inside, 2-1.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at in terms of Ellie De La Cruz's career. He's played almost 2 full seasons in the big leagues, enough for other teams to get that really thorough scouting report, and now the book is out on him. He just doesn't like off-speed pitches. He'll have to figure it out.
2-1 pitch is hit down the left field line, a changeup that's hit foul, 2-2. And this kind of happened for him last year. He came up in June to make his debut, won Rookie of the Week right away, Player of the Week, ended up being the youngest guy to cycle since 1972 within the first couple weeks. Swing and a miss at the 2-2, and he goes down on the fastball outside, 1 out. But then things slowed down, and this year he was better to start and did it for longer, but now he's slowing down in the second half again.
Which is disappointing for us, because I want to see him try to steal a base. Of course, I want to see Alejandro Kirk throw him out, but I just want to see why he's so good at stealing bases. Of course, he has that 100 percentile speed.
It's a big help. Here's Tyler Stevenson, the catcher for the Reds. 1 out, 1 on the pitch, inside ball 1. Third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Scarborough, on Shepherd Avenue, on St. Clair Avenue, and on Midwest Road. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. 1-0 to Stevenson, hits the zone, 1-1. We would have came into yesterday thinking the Reds are going to steal left, right, and center. We're going to see them run a ton. Kevin Gausman gives up a lot of stolen bases, and the Reds are second best in baseball at swiping bags. Turn and throw over to first. India back with a dive. But the Reds did not steal a base yesterday. They tried once, and Spencer Steer got thrown out at second. That was it.
Well, Ellie De La Cruz was taking his gloves off when he finally got to first base, and then was thrown out on that double play later in the ball game. But that's about it. That's the only time that we got excited about Ellie De La Cruz on base.
1-1, called strike 1-2. India on first can do it. 10 stolen bases. He's been caught once. Steer has 20 himself. So there are other guys, but yeah, we do need to see De La Cruz on base if we're going to see the Reds stolen bases at full force, really. 1-2. Stevenson swings and misses. Strike 3. Another elevated fastball and back-to-back strikeouts for Berrios.
Yeah, that first one was 96, and then that one right there, 95. Just blows it by him. It's a pretty good four-seamer right there, just above the strike zone.
That's how he has all 3 of his strikeouts. The 2 this inning, and then the Espinal strikeout to end the second. 4-1 Blue Jays, top of the third. India had a leadoff single. He's still on first, and TJ Friedel up the pitch. Backdoor breaking ball, a little bit low, ball 1. Guerrero again in on the turf against Friedel. Not as far in this time, but still 3-4 steps on the turf. 1-0. Swinging a bouncer to first, picked up by Horwitz. He'll walk over to the first base bag and stomp on it to end the inning. No runs on a hit, one left, still 4-1 Blue Jays. Middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power and speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph, you got it! Wins the Indy 500!
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 3 Eastern with the Grand Prix of Portland.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys. From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Malone!
Thank you so much. And on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Luke Swadron, and Stephen Coyle, our technical directors. 4-1 the Blue Jays lead after a 3-run bottom of the second. Blue Jays batting again in the third with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off. First pitch, misses down and away, ball one. Guerrero batting .317 entering this game, 26 home runs. 1-0. Swing and a soft roller up the middle into center field for a base hit. And it's just been that kind of year. Everything he hits, even if it's not on the screws, is landing or hitting the right spot for Guerrero, who's got a leadoff single.
Well, that one right there certainly was not on the screws. That was a little dribbler up the middle. He was fortunate that Ellie De La Cruz was shaded towards that hole on the left side of the infield. There was a big hole up the middle. And I don't know the exit velo on that, but it can't be good.
81, which isn't that bad, but for him, that's like 61. Here's Will Wagner, who bends the knee, doesn't swing at the first pitch. It missed low, ball one. You could see, though, on the replay, Vlad was laughing as he left the box.
But he'll take that all day long.
He'll take it, yeah. Counts the same. Guerrero leading off first, no outs, and the pitch from Spires, swing and a miss. Will Wagner hitting cleanup for the first time this year, not just in the majors, but in general. Whether it was in the Houston system with the Buffalo Bisons or with the Blue Jays, had not hit cleanup this year. 1-1. Swing and a bouncer, backhanded at first by France, who steps on the bag, throws to second. They have Guerrero in a rundown. He'll skip around France, but they say he went off the baseline. So that's going to be a double play. It went France to De La Cruz, back to France. And Vlad thinks that he dodged and kept it legal there. You got to watch, I believe, one of the greats and Josh Harrison do that many times. Vlad got off the line a little bit too far.
Yeah, Mark Ripperger, the first base umpire, very clearly motioned that Vlad was out of the baseline, and he is out. He didn't really make contact with him, didn't tag him, but Vlad was way out of the base path. That's an easy call for the first base umpire.
So a double play. Turned there by the Reds, 3-6-3, and now Alejandro Kirk swings at the first pitch and lifts it to left field. It's gone! Over the bullpen and into the seats. Kirk with his 4th homer of the year, and the Blue Jays extend the lead to 5-1.
Well, that was another hanging sweeper from Carson Spires. right down the middle, thigh high, and Alejandro Kirk, who's been seeing the ball a lot better recently, absolutely smoked that thing on a line over the bullpen in left field. Blue Jays are winning 5-1 now.
Toronto's offense had been relatively quiet over the last couple days in Chicago and then here in Cincinnati, but loud today. A couple big home runs, 2 triples and a double. They're up 5-1. Here's Spencer Horwitz, who takes inside ball 1.
How many no-doubters do you see off the bat of Alejandro Kirk? Not many. That one pretty close to a no-doubter.
I mean, you knew right when he hit it.
Well, he knew. He took about 3 or 4 slow steps and then started his trot.
Now Spencer Horwitz drives one deep to right center field, and the Blue Jays have gone back-to-back. Horwitz turns on it and puts it into the Reds bullpen, and Toronto's up 6-1 on its second home run of the inning.
Well, just another hanging changeup from Carson Spires. Spencer Horwitz didn't get all of it, but he got just enough of it to get it over that wall and into the bullpen in right field. Pretty good swing right there from Spencer Horwitz. 6-1 Blue Jays.
And for Horwitz, his 7th home run when there were questions about the power that he might have. 7 home runs in 62 games is somewhere in between a 15 and 20 homer pace for a whole season. Joey Loperfido up, tripled his first time to the plate, swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it back 0-1.
And I think if you're the Blue Jays, you take that number. 15, 20, 17, it doesn't really matter. Somewhere in there, that's pretty good production.
Yeah, if you're a contact first guy and you can do that, I think you're in a pretty good spot. 0-1. Loperfido bunts it. It's fair down the third baseline. Stevenson turns and throws to first, but the catcher's throw is not in time. Loperfido sneaks the bunt inside the line, and he's got a hit here with 2 outs to extend the inning.
I think there was some confusion between Stevenson and Spires. Stevenson comes running out and makes that play. I mean, I don't think Spires makes that play either. That's just a good bunt from Loperfido.
Showing a dynamic game today. A triple his first time, a bunt single his second time. He's on first and a throw over to first. Dive back safely by Loperfido. France will apply a tag anyway. Leo Jimenez to the plate. Blue Jays up 6-1. 4 hits for the Blue Jays this inning, including back-to-back homers by Kirk and Horwitz. Pitch to Leo Jimenez, down and away, ball 1.
And we talked about the Cincinnati Reds' ability to run the bases, but how about, let's see, Joey Loperfido try to swipe a bag here. That'd be nice.
3 stolen bases this season, caught once. 1-0. Jimenez takes inside. Loperfido's got decent stolen base numbers in the minors. And in terms of sprint speed, he's 90th percentile in Major League Baseball. He's got some pretty good wheels. Decent lead off first, held on by France. 2-0. Called strike. Loperfido with 27 stolen bases in the minors last year, 32 the year before that. 2-1 pitch. Downstairs, ball 3. Spires going for the rosin bag. It's been a long inning for the righty, whose pitch count is up to 48 now. Has given up 3 straight 2-out base runners. Loperfido takes off on the 3-1, and it's lined to left field, down for a hit. Loperfido makes the turn. Throw coming into third, and they got him. Spencer Steer throws out Joey Loperfido, trying to go first to third on that run and hit play, and that's how the inning comes to an end. But the Blue Jays scored 2 on 5 hits, leave 1 on. Back-to-back homers by Kirk and Horwitz make it 6-1 Toronto after 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app. Be the most informed player in your fantasy football league by listening to the experts on Fantasy Sports Radio.
I want to thank you guys for making me a better fantasy player.
Hear player rankings, position breakdowns, and expert drafts.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
Going deep down the right side, got a man, caught, touchdown Cowboys!
The road to a fantasy football championship begins with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM. Channel 159.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin at your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Blue Jays fans, no matter where you are, you won't miss a pitch with the SiriusXM app. Hear every game all season long. Download the SiriusXM app and search Blue Jays.
That radio network. The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Welcome back to Rogers Center. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 6-1. The Blue Jays lead the Reds. Spencer Steer leading off for Cincinnati. First pitch. Called strike one. Berrios gets ahead with 94 painted on the outside corner. Right on right, here's the 0-1 pitch. Called strike, 0-2.
And that's what Jose Berrios is going to have to do. Ahead 6-1, just pound the bottom of the strike zone. A lot of fastballs. Let the Cincinnati Reds get themselves out.
Berrios kicks and delivers, and it's fouled back, a fastball at the top of the zone.
That velo's ticked up just a little bit. 94, 95, 96.
A lot of four-seamers today, his hardest pitch. It's a matchup here of a couple former Twins draft picks, Berrios and Steer. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him on the slurve up and away. That's his strikeout for the first out of the fourth.
Wasn't the best slurve that Jose Berrios has thrown today. You could see he was motioning after he threw that pitch. Get on top of that pitch. It was kind of a floating, hanging sweeper, and luckily Steer swung through that thing.
Berrios gets a break to get the first out. Here's Ty France, who walked and scored in the second. It's the Reds' only run in this 6-1 game. First pitch, called strike. Let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Rib Sanity is on now until September 8th. All you can eat ribs for just $27.99. Visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. First, a swing and a miss by France over top of a changeup. Former Padre and Mariner batting here for the Reds with one out, nobody on, and the Blue Jays up 6-1, top of the fourth. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for Berrios, 2 outs.
Pretty good right-on-right changeup right there to Ty France. I mean, he's pitching like it's a 1-1 ball game. I think that's the way to do it.
You get in danger of relaxing too much.
Oh, absolutely. It's like getting 2 quick outs in an inning. You kind of let your guard down, you relax too much, and then all of a sudden you're behind in the count 3-0. It can happen when you're ahead 6-1 as well. Too many heaters down the middle.
Pitch to Jake Fraley is bounced foul. Or no, it's fair. Fielded by Horwitz. Flip to Berrios for the out at first. And that will end the inning. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, 2-2 New York and Cleveland in the third. Here in Toronto, it's 6-1 Blue Jays over Reds, middle of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. How about 99 right down the middle? Beats Manzardo.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the fourth at Rogers Center. Welcome back to downtown Toronto. 6-1 Blue Jays. Carson Spires delivers to Addison Barger. Strike one. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Spires, the righty, trying to settle in here. Delivers the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. 1 run in the first for the Blue Jays. 3 in the second, 2 in the third. Spires has had difficulty getting quick outs.
And that pitch count for Spires actually really isn't that elevated. Only 51 pitches, but 6 runs given up.
0-2 pitch, hit on the ground to second. Vacuumed up by Espinal, who throws out the sprinting Barger. 1 down. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Mentioned it going into the break. 2-2 game, Yankees and Guardians, 2 of the best in the American League right now, facing off at Yankee Stadium. And guess what happened? Juan Soto hit his 35th. Aaron Judge hit his 45th. They went back-to-back to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead before Cleveland tied it up. George Springer homered his last time up, his 15th of the year. First pitch is hit on the ground to short, circling around it. De La Cruz throws him out at first, 2 down.
Aaron Judge is unbelievable. 333, 45 home runs, 112 RBIs.
And it's still August. Like, those are great final numbers for the entire season, let alone what you would have in mid to late August.
And people forget that he is the scouting report, right? When pitchers are getting ready for the game against the Yankees, that's the guy that they're focusing on.
First pitch to Dalton Varsho, strike one.
Pitchers are throwing their best pitch to this guy. A lot of the time they're pitching around him, and he's still putting up these numbers.
0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, I remember after the Yankees series that the Blue Jays had in the Bronx, talking to John Schneider about, hey, you guys walked Judge a lot. Could Vlad get that kind of treatment because of how good of a hitter he is? 1-1 to Varsho. Outside ball 2. And he said yes, but to put it in context, Vlad is having a great year, and this was maybe a week or 2 ago. Vlad is having a great year. He's got 23 home runs. Judge has 41 home runs right now, and now he's got 45. Swing and a miss by Varsho makes it 2-2. Judge is just in a different world than even Soto, potentially, who in many years would win MVP with the year he's putting up right
Absolutely.
now. Carson Spires here has a chance to get his first scoreless frame. 2 outs, bases empty. The 2-2 to Varsho, and it hit him. Fastball ran in. I think it got him on the tricep area or the shoulder. Varsho seems no worse for wear. He jogs down to first.
Well, Varsho doesn't wear any protection. No ankle guard, no elbow guard. Pretty rare in today's Major League Baseball, but that just drilled him right in the tricep. Luckily, it didn't hit any bone. Just got all flesh, and he just trots down to first base. Pretty tough guy.
Varsho on for the second time today. Leads off first. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up with 2 outs. And the pitch. Low ball 1. If you're trying to get a scoreless frame, that was about the last thing you wanted to do. Extend the inning for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vlad 1 for 2. 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2.
And the second to last thing you want to do is fall behind 2-0 to him.
I'll stop after this, but probably the third to last thing, you don't want to walk him and give Will Wagner a runner in scoring position. He's hitting .500 in his Major League career. 2-0. Called strike at the knees, 2-1.
Vlad didn't like it, kind of tilted his head. I don't know if he's tilting it because he didn't like the call or he was surprised by that pitch selection from Spires.
It was a cutter that did appear to hit the zone. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a bouncer up the middle into center field, a base hit. Varsho around second, chugging for third, and he'll get in there without a throw. Runners on the corners now for the Blue Jays as Vlad plays the big part of the field again.
Well, that was almost the exact same result. Just hit that ball a little bit harder. Got that ball on the barrel instead of the end of the bat. And the Blue Jays are in business. Runners on first and third, 2 outs.
De La Cruz almost took 2 steps and then just put his head down in defeat twice. He's played deep in the hole at short because of the pull power of Guerrero, and twice it's burned him. So runners on the corners, 2 outs, Will Wagner up. Wagner is 1 for 2, and in his career, 10 for 21 as a Blue Jay. De La Cruz at second. They're going to appeal here. They toss over to second. Appeal that Dalton Varsho did not step on second base when he was going first to third last time up. But second base umpire Alex McKay gave the safe signal indicating that Varsho did hit that bat.
And David Bell is looking at the umpires, I think, and gave the safe call, meaning they're probably not going to want to review this play.
It looked pretty close on the slow-mo review. First pitch to Wagner, hit foul 0-1. It's kind of hard to tell because it was almost like Varsho's bag or foot came down on the side of the bag, kind of like when first basemen will rest their foot against the bag rather than on top of it. But it wasn't for sure that he hit it. 0-1, Guerrero takes off from first, and the pitch is hit on a soft line to the left side, fumbled by Marte, the third baseman, and everybody's safe. In to score Varsho, Guerrero up to second, and for Will Wagner, he ends up plating a run there with maybe a single, maybe he reached on error, but either way, you put it in play and a good thing happened.
Well, I would imagine that they give that a single. That is a really tough play from Marte, a ton of spin on that ball. Will Wagner absolutely got blown up in on the hands, hit a little weak nubber to third base, but I think that's going to be a single.
It did bounce way to the left from where it should have gone. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk is low. Ball 1.
Will Wagner's softest base hit of the year if they give him a single?
By far. I mean, that'll be one of the softest base hits anyone's had all year, if it is a hit. He hit that 48 miles an hour.
I love it. I love it.
First and second, 2 down, and the 1-0 bounces to the right. Backhanded pick by Stevenson, the catcher. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. They have ruled it an error for now on Noel V. Marte.
That's a tough error.
It looked bad, but like you said, the spin really made it tough. 2-0. Inside ball 3.
I would love to see an overhead view to see if Will Wagner would have beaten that ball out anyways. I know we won't see that, but that's probably the thing that I would think about.
Spires 3-0. Kirk taking all the way, takes a fastball over the heart of the plate. Strike one. Guerrero on second and Wagner on first. 2 outs, a run in for the Blue Jays this inning. Spires set, looks at Guerrero, and now deals to the plate. Foul ball. Kirk hit it back off the catcher Stevenson. Full count. Looked like Kirk was trying to hold up on that pitch that was way inside, but just nicked the sinker.
Yeah, there was a ton of run on that sinker. Alejandro Kirk was fooled by it. It started on the inside part of the plate and then ran off the plate in on the hands, and then Alejandro Kirk down to one knee with the awkward swing.
So a full count now and 2 outs. That means Guerrero off second and Wagner off first will both get the head start. 7-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the 4th inning. Kirk brings the bat up toward the sky. And now the 3-2 pitch from Spires. Inside ball 4, off the glove of Stevenson. Guerrero around third, but he will wait there. It's going to be a walk to load the bases with 2 outs.
And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. actually thought about coming home for a second. Tyler Stevenson got to that ball pretty quickly. I think that if that ball trickled a little further, Vlad actually would have attempted to come home. He's chirping with the Blue Jays dugout. I'm sure they're giving him a hard time about it.
A lot to smile about right now for the Blue Jays. On the Cincinnati side, though, they're just trying to get through some innings here. Going to send pitching coach Derek Johnson out to talk to Spires, and perhaps David Bell a little hesitant to get into his bullpen early on today after only getting 4 innings out of the starter yesterday, Julian Aguilar, who was pitching in his major league debut.
Yeah, and there's nobody warming up right now. I think that in a regular ball game, if the Reds weren't thin, they probably would have at least a long guy warming up right now, but nobody warming up in that Reds pen.
Wouldn't be shocked if Jacob Junis, a former starter, now long reliever for Cincinnati, started to get loose at some point soon. Blue Jays have scored in all 4 innings, an unearned run for now in this inning off the Noelvi Marte error. Bases loaded. Here's Spencer Horwitz with 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a bouncer up the middle, right at De La Cruz, the shortstop. He picks it up and goes to second base to end the inning. Blue Jays get a run on 1 hit, 1 error, and leave the bases loaded. They're up 7-1 after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I stand before you to proudly announce I am now officially the Democratic nominee.
The 2024 Democratic National Convention is on Sirius XM.
We believe in freedom.
With live in-person coverage on Progress 127.
The delegates are filing in.
And POTUS 124.
Tonight, very big night for the Democratic National Convention.
With additional coverage on Urban View 126. Plus all your favorite news channels. The 2024 Democratic National Convention is on Sirius XM.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
A lot of these young guys are comfortable playing with one another from the minor leagues and understanding that they're in the big leagues now and expectations are a little bit different. So it has been cool to see that kind of shift in energy.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin, your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app. Just search NBA Radio.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Thank you, Chris. 7-1 Blue Jays. Noelvi Marte leading off, fouls back the first pitch. 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. He's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Show Ali, our host and producer today, and Luke Swadron and Stephen Coyle, our technical directors. Marte Espinal, India for the Reds. Here's the 0-1. Strike two. I wouldn't say it's the whole reason, but when you look at where things have gone wrong for the Reds this year, who are on pace to have a worse record than last year, Marte's absence plays a part in that. Check swing at the 0-2. No, he went around, says home plate umpire Roberto Ortiz. He doesn't like it. He's talking with Ortiz all the way back, saying at least let that go to appeal, but instead that's going to be a strikeout for the first out of the inning. And when I'm talking about the absence of Marte, who's playing now in his 42nd game, it was a performance-enhancing drugs-related suspension, suspended 80 games to start the season, and he was one of their stud rookies last year.
Yeah, hit 316, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. Small sample size, only 114 ABs, but...
Santiago Espinal taking strike one with one out.
He's a good player. I think he's just struggling. Obviously, coming back from that is pretty tough.
0-1 to Espinal. Swing and a miss. Got him out in front there on the changeup. 0-2. You mix Marte missing a bunch of games, Matt McLean being out pretty much the whole year, and Christian Encarnacion Strand missing a bunch of games, and a lot of the Reds' youth movement that put them in playoff contention last year has just not been around this year. It's mainly been De La Cruz who's been healthy. Espinal back in the box. Here's the 0-2 from Berrios. Swing and a fly ball left field. Going back low, Perfido makes the catch. 2 outs.
But I tell you one thing, though, one of the biggest surprises in that Reds lineup is that guy, Santiago Espinal. Like you've mentioned a couple of times, he is red hot and has been for almost a month and a half.
And really, it looked like he might be a DFA candidate at one point, Espinal. Hitting in the 180s in the middle of July is a dangerous situation. And then all of a sudden, he's ripped off some of the best weeks of his career. 2 outs. Here's Jonathan India, who's 2 for 2. Berrios' pitch. Strike one. By the way, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Brian Rocchio has homered off Luis Gil, and the Guardians have taken the lead over the Yankees. Now 3-2 for Cleveland in the Bronx. 0-1. Outside. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Berrios kicks, fires to India, who checks his swing on a pitch low of the zone, 2-1. India playing in his 4th major league season. Swings at the next pitch and hits it deep to left center field. Varsho racing back at the track, slows up and makes the catch to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Berrios, who's retired the last 9 he's faced. Blue Jays leading 7-1, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of the SiriusXM podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins.
First individual I phoned was my dad, and I told him I just got voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was kind of crying. I said, Dad, you and I are now in the Hall of Fame together. And he was pretty happy with that.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
If you love golf, then you should never turn off SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Our hosts have the best takes.
Tiger's impact on the game of golf, aside from how good he was at it, was something that I don't think we'll ever see again.
Talk to the biggest guests.
Scotty, you've had a year to celebrate.
This year, I've just seen a lot of good results.
And can even help you with your own game.
Take the club and at address, open it up.
It's all golf, all the time. On SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
At Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th inning at Rogers Center, the Blue Jays leading the Reds, or bottom of the 5th, pardon me, and the Blue Jays leading the Reds 7-1. Big offensive day for Toronto. Spencer Horwitz leads off, and last time he came up, he homered as part of back-to-back homers. He and Alejandro Kirk going yard in the 4th. Pardon me, it's Joey Loperfido leading off. Horwitz batted last inning, and Loperfido takes ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Blue Jays trying to even up the series. Spires into the wind, the pitch. Low ball 2. It's been a pretty good day for Joey Loperfido. A triple and a bunt single. 2-0 pitch. High ball 3.
The best part about a bunt single is you look at the box score. Could have been a ripped baseball up the middle for all we know.
They don't ask how. They got no clue. 3-0. Inside ball 4. Loses his helmet jumping out of the way. And Loperfido heads down to first with a leadoff walk.
And still no action in that Cincinnati Reds bullpen. They're just going to let Spires wear this. It's a pretty tough feeling if you're a pitcher on the mound and you know that you don't have your best stuff. You've given up a ton of runs already. You've thrown 75 pitches, and your manager is just going to let you wear it.
Reds used a lot of relievers yesterday, trying to avoid that today. Leo Jimenez takes the first pitch down and in, ball 1. But the Reds have a long man, Jacob Junis, but have not gotten him up yet. Used Buck Farmer yesterday, but he can go long as well. Next pitch to Jimenez, hit foul, 1-1.
And normally you'd see some guys at least moving around down there, some stretching. Here we go. Somebody's taking off their sweatshirt. Now they'll get somebody loose.
Blue Jays have scored in every inning so far. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball center field. Going back, Friedel at the track, at the wall. That ball is gone. Leo Jimenez with his first home run at Rogers Center and his third of his major league career makes it 9-1.
Well, Leo Jimenez squared that one up. Man, that's a good swing. A line drive to center field that just snuck out of here for his third home run of the season on a sinker that was right down Broadway.
And you joked about it a little bit when the Blue Jays were in Chicago about Leo Jimenez becoming a power hitter, but he is really starting to hit the ball hard. Addison Barger with a rip and a miss, strike 1.
And that was a sinker that was on the outer third. You see a lot of guys try to pull that baseball and they end up rolling over to shortstop, but he just went with it, used the big part of the field, and absolutely drilled it.
Swing and a miss by Barger again makes it 0-2. Not everyone has 410 to the opposite field. He hit it just to the right of center field, but still, to go 410 the other way is impressive. 0-2. Swing and a broken bat liner. Almost hits Carlos Fablis, the third base coach. He ducks out of the way. That's a foul ball, and Barger will get a new bat.
Yeah, Leo's proving that he's got at least a little bit of juice. We didn't know it about, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? We had no idea that he has this kind of juice. 3 home runs now in his big league career. That knee must be feeling
Behold,
good.
The mightiest assembly ever witnessed. We are all gathered in the darkness. Together we can be the light.
Barger, who had a laced double in the second and a ground out in the fourth. Down in the count, 0-2. Long man Jacob Junis is up and throwing right now for the Reds. 9-1 Blue Jays, no outs in the bottom of the 5th. Spires pitch home. Outside, ball 1. This could be it for Spires either way. Blue Jays go 4th time through with Springer on deck. 1-2. hit foul down the left field line. Some tough luck today for Spires. A couple triples that probably should have been at least doubles, if not less. But it's been a tough day. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back off of the catcher, Stevenson. And actually, they're going to say that Barger hit the catcher, and that knocked the ball out of his glove. So it's a strikeout. 1 down.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca.
Reds injury in a sec. First, the pitch to George Springer is hit high. Left field, hooking toward the pole. That ball is gone. It's a multi-homer game for George Springer. Blue Jays into double digits as Springer's 24th multi-home run game makes it 10-1 Toronto.
Well, another hanger from Spires. And George Springer didn't miss it, hitting it over that bullpen in left field for his second home run of the ballgame.
That is going to be the end of Spires' day just before he comes out on that Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers injury report. Jeimer Candelario of the Reds on the injured list as of today with a fractured toe. DH'd in yesterday's game. Reds, though, quietly claimed Ahmed Rosario, who's having a very good year, and he is on the roster activated today in the spot of Candelario. Rosario on the bench for the Reds. Spires walking back to the dugout after 10 runs allowed in 4 1/3. Jacob Junis about to come on. Let's go to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. Before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Don't forget, we do have J-Stock this evening. Jeff Blair is riding solo. He is down at the Rogers Center. He will take your calls and your texts after this game is in the books. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. First, I'm going to do this every day until Friday, but yet another reminder on the 165th Kings Plate. It was rescheduled to Friday, August 23rd. Races begin at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kings Plate itself, one of the later races, it is scheduled for 6:18 p.m. Eastern, 3:18 p.m. Pacific. No admission is required. If you are planning to get down to Woodbine Racetrack on Friday, you can watch it, of course, on Sportsnet and City TV. On this next bit, I did check the calendar. It is still mid-August, but lots of NHL news today. First, offer sheet drama in Edmonton. The Oilers choosing not to match the offer sheets given to Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, so they will both join the Blues. It'll be 2 years, $9.16 million for Broberg, 2 years, $4.58 million for Holloway. The Oilers will get a 2025 second rounder for Broberg as compensation, a 2025 third round pick for Dylan Holloway. Elsewhere in Edmonton as well, a retirement. Defenseman Oscar Klefbom has officially hung up his skates. The 31-year-old from Sweden had not yet played in the NHL since 2020 with a shoulder injury. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you, as always, by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much. So Jacob Junis taking over for the Reds after George Springer hit his second home run of the game. The Blue Jays' fifth home run today. Toronto is routing the Cincinnati Reds right now, 10-1.
Yeah, tough to watch. Carson Spires definitely should have been out of that ball game much earlier than he was. I know that we talked about the bullpen, the Reds bullpen situation being a little bit dire right now, but that was tough to watch. 13 hits given up in 4 1/3 innings, 10 runs allowed. It's a tough outing for Spires.
Now Junis in to try and get through some innings for the Reds here. Gets a swing and a miss off Dalton Varsho, 0-1. For Junis, his 17th appearance of the year. The next pitch, Varsho hits high and deep to right field. Going back Fraley into the corner, makes the catch just in front of the wall, 2 outs.
And I thought Dalton Varsho got that one off the bat. You could hear the crowd kind of holding their breath. That was just a hanging slider from Junis, and Dalton Varsho just got underneath it, hitting it deep into that right field corner.
Blue Jays thought that one was getting out, but just barely missed. Big break for Junis. Now he faces Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Veteran righty's pitch. Inside, ball 1. In 16 appearances coming into this one, an ERA around 3.5 for Junis. Year split between Milwaukee and Cincinnati. 1-0 pitch is hit in the air right field. Backing up and now circling toward the foul line. Fraley reaches forward, makes the catch, and ends the inning. 3 runs on 2 hits for the Blue Jays. 2-run shot by Leo Jimenez. Solo home run by George Springer. And it's 10-1 Toronto after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is the best I've ever seen.
City TV has all the edge-of-your-seat performances you can handle.
This is the most amazing season we've ever had.
America's Got Talent is doubling down on excitement.
Wow. Incredible. I'm blown away.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Better than any other season.
On the hunt for this season's winner.
You didn't know what was going to happen next.
America's Got Talent. All new tonight, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time! What a play, Bo Bichette!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 6th inning in Toronto, and the Blue Jays all over the Cincinnati Reds. 10-1. Toronto leads. 2 more homers and 3 more runs in the 5th. And a massive cushion for Jose Berrios. Right-hander deals to Elly De La Cruz. Switch hitter batting left. Takes outside, ball 1.
And that pitch count situation for Jose Berrios is pretty good right now. He just threw his 65th pitch, and we're in the top of the 6th inning.
Righty's 1-0. Foul tip into the glove, and it's 1-1. Are you thinking ahead here? Like thinking pitch count about 7 or 8 or even
wow. That might be pushing it.
1-1 pitch is hit on a line left center field. Racing and a dive by Varsho in the gap, but it gets down past him and bounces into the wall. De La Cruz around second, trying for third, and he's going to get there with a stand-up triple to lead off the 6th.
And I don't think Dalton Varsho ever really had a chance at that baseball. I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you that he shouldn't have dove for that baseball in the gap. He should have taken that ball 1 hop off the wall and kept Elly De La Cruz at second base. But watching Elly De La Cruz run around the bases from up here, that's pretty cool. A ton of speed. Those strides are long.
Although, Chris, again, we probably don't have a chance to see him steal here because he hit a triple. He has stolen home before. It's possible. We'll just have to wait and see. Tyler Stevenson chops the first pitch that he sees to third. Guerrero's going to throw over to first, and De La Cruz comes in to score. First play for Vlad at third on the ground, and he makes a nice one. But for Stevenson, an RBI ground out. It's now 10-2.
That was a Sunday hop. That was right to his chest. An easy play for Vlad. The most impressive thing about that is he threw an absolute strike across the diamond to Spencer Horowitz. That's what I love when he really uses that arm. He's got a pretty strong arm.
That was the thing John Schneider talked about a lot with his third base profile. Probably the thing the Jays are least worried about or thinking about when he's over there. Worried might not be the right term. TJ Friedel up, takes low, ball 1. Guerrero playing in, watching the bunt, 1-0. Swinging a pop-up out of play, 1-1. 10-2 Blue Jays, 1 out, bases empty, top of the 6th. Seems like with Vlad, it's a little bit of just similar stuff to when he came up to the majors because he hasn't played a lot of third since that rookie year. 1-1. Low ball 2. Plays go into his left, charging in, and it's a close play. Can he keep his throws on line in those kind of situations? 2-1 pitch. Swing and a bouncer foul, 2-2.
Yeah, early on in his career when he was playing third base quite often, he would get a little lazy with those throws. That elbow would drop, and you would see the top spin on that baseball, kind of the fade. And now he's really staying on top of that baseball and throwing that missile across the diamond. That's what you want to see when you see a third baseman throw the baseball.
Two. Swing and a foul ball off of the batter. Friedel collapsed down to the ground but gets up quickly. Although walking to the back of the dirt circle with a bit of a limp, he hit that off his front right foot, which he's feeling out right now.
He is wearing some protection on the top of the right foot, but I believe it got him half on the protection, half on the actual foot. He's still limping around, hobbling around, trying to stretch that thing out.
His ankle kind of rolled over, so his foot was exposed a little bit on the inside. Takes a deep bend, and he's back in the box. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Berrios blows him away with 96, 2 down.
Pitch number 74 of the ball game, and still has 96 in the tank. I know he's given up a couple of runs in this ball game, but he's looked pretty good overall.
1 out away from getting through 6. Gave up a run after 2 two-out walks and a single in the second, and then a leadoff triple this inning for Elly De La Cruz. And De La Cruz would score on an RBI groundout. 2 down, the pitch to Spencer Steer, inside ball 1. Steer is 0 for 2, a groundout and a strikeout. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball at the bottom of the zone. And it feels like his fastball location's been really on today.
Well, it also has a ton of movement. That last sinker right there, 94 miles an hour, started off the plate and then dove back over the plate.
1-1. Down low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
I feel like when Jose Berrios is having his best starts, it's really the sinker that really keeps the train moving. That good hard sinker, 94, 95, and then a ton of movement.
His 2-1 is a fastball at the top of the zone. Swing and a miss, 2-2. It's been a lot of sinkers down and 4-seamers up today. Just elevated the 4-seamer. We'll see what he does now to try and strike out Steer. Righty set at the bell. Twists and delivers. Check swing on a pitch just high. And we'll go to a full count.
I love that Jose Berrios is throwing a ton of fastballs right here. You're up by 8 runs. Later in the ball game, pound the strike zone with that hard fastball, especially the sinker, and you'll just get easy ground balls all day long.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back. Tried to go back to the top of the zone with a fastball, and Steer hit it backwards. .80 pitches now for Jose Berrios. Given up 2 runs in this game on 4 hits and struck out 7. 3-2 again, hit foul behind the plate. Still a full count. Another 3-2. Bounce to first on 2 hops, picked up by Horwitz. He'll jog over to the bag and end the inning. Reds get 1 on the De La Cruz triple and then RBI groundout, but that's all. It's 10-2 Blue Jays, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When it's time to turn up. Turn to Flex 2K, a Sirius XM channel that takes you from 2000s bling
you bling like the Neptune sound.
through the rise of trap.
Let's go, man.
Nothing but the hip-hop bangers that define the first 2 decades of the millennium.
Flex 2K, Channel 49, and the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game. Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new Sirius XM app.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small business. That's why they awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. Bottom of the 6th inning, Will Wagner leading off for the Blue Jays takes a strike from Jacob Junis, 0-1. 10-2 Blue Jays. Wagner swings at the next one and hits it off of his foot. Foul, 0-2, and Wagner is crawling right now on the ground in the batter's box. Does not look very comfortable, but he gets back up and now is walking with a limp. Jose Menestral, the trainer, is going to check on him.
Yeah, Will Wagner doesn't wear any protection on that lower leg, nothing on the elbow either, and that just got him right on the inside of that right foot.
We saw how much that hurt TJ Friedel in the top of the 6th inning, and Friedel had protection on, let alone when that one just hits you flush. Wagner doing some ankle circles, toe down to the ground, moving his heel around in a circle, stretching out now, touching his toes, and John Schneider and Jose Menestral are going to retreat to the dugout. So it seems like Wagner's all right, and we'll finish out this at-bat. Down, no balls and 2 strikes right now.
Well, if there's one guy outside of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. we don't want to be taken out of this lineup, it's Will Wagner.
Absolutely. 0-2. Up and away, ball 1. 1 for 3 today. Reached on an error last time up, singled in the first, but twice has put balls in play that have scored runs for the Blue Jays. 1-2. Called strike 3. Pitch looked a little bit off the plate outside, but Junis gets the call, and there's 1 out.
That's a tough take for Will Wagner. A pitch that is probably called a ball on most nights, but he's rung up for strike 3 on that one. That's a tough call.
So Wagner goes down, and Alejandro Kirk takes strike 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Blue Jays up 10-2, and a lot of defensive changes for the Reds, who look to be resting some guys, down by 8 in this game. Next pitch to Kirk, hit foul, 0-2. Elly De La Cruz has been taken out of the ball game, as has TJ Friedel. Moving over to play shortstop in De La Cruz's place is Santiago Espinal. Spencer Steer goes from left field to second. Kirk hits it on the ground to first. It's picked up there by Ty France, who goes to the bag, 2 outs. So it's Espinal moving from second to short. Steer moves from left to second. Will Benson is into the game. He'll play left field, and in center field now is Stuart Fairchild.
Can you repeat that?
Stuart Fairchild in center, Benson in left.
I was just joking.
I'll go through it. Espinal at short and Steer at second. 2 outs, and the Blue Jays' first baseman, Spencer Horwitz, up. Base is empty. Jacob Junis winds and delivers, and the first pitch hit foul, 0-1. Reds pitching is still yet to come up with a scoreless frame. Blue Jays up 10-2, and they've scored in each of the first 5 innings.
It's been an incredible day for this Blue Jays offense. Pretty good day for Jose Berrios as well.
0-1 pitch hit in the air left field. Backing up, Benson to the track, makes the catch, and that will be the first scoreless inning for Reds pitching. Junis sets down the Blue Jays in order and sends us to the 7th. Toronto up 10-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're twomenintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think twomenintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think twomenintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, twomenintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too.
Hola, soy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Está escuchando a Toronto Blue Jays Baseball en la radio de Sportsnet.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. Top of the 7th inning at Rogers Center, and Jose Berrios has a comfortable 10-2 lead to work with. Facing Ty France to start this 7th, Berrios kicks and delivers. Fastball outside, ball 1. France is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. 1-0. Swing and a high fly ball, medium depth right field. Barger back in front of the track. Comes in now and makes the catch, 1 out.
Another hard fastball, 96, pitch number 84 of the ball game. We're in the middle of August, and he looks pretty good right now, almost like he's mid-season form, which is usually not the case the later you get into the season.
This is what Jose Berrios does, though. He, like I mentioned off the top of the broadcast, if you were with us then, he's flirting with 200 innings again. His pitch to Jake Fraley is hit on the ground to second. Wagner backhands, throws to first, 2 down. Berrios has now thrown 6 2/3 innings today. He's over 156 innings on the season, and he could have maybe 5, 6, 7 starts after this the rest of the year. He'd have to pitch well, but there is a roadmap for Jose Berrios to get to 200, which would be the second time he's done that. Definitely a pathway to 190, which he's done a couple times. His pitch to Noel V. Marte, broken bat looper over the head of Guerrero at third, down the left field line in fair territory for a hit. Wide turnaround first for Marte. He'll scramble back to first base as the Blue Jays get it in quickly.
Yeah, that was a pretty good job from Loperfido getting that ball in. Didn't stop. He threw that ball on the run. And Marte stopped about a third of the way to second base, realizing that he wasn't going to be able to make it. Loperfido doing a good job out there.
Will Wagner even threw to first just to check on Marte, but he got back in standing. So still 2 outs, a runner on first. Santiago Espinal up in the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Espinal 0 for 2 today. The 0-1. Down low. We've talked about the hot streak a lot of Santiago Espinal, but just to expand a little bit more on it. So in 19 games coming into this one, hitting almost 460. That included an 11-game hit streak. 1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. The second longest hit streak of Espinal's career. He did have a 16-gamer with the Blue Jays in 2022. But in that 22 streak, it was one hit here, two hits there, one hit here, kind of stringing it along. As Espinal takes again, checks swing on a pitch low. No swing, it's 3-1. In the 11-gamer that he had to close out July, he hit 570 in the streak. It was just multi-hit game after multi-hit game. Espinal also setting a career high with 8 home runs this season, although playing in a homer-friendly park in Cincinnati. 3-1 pitch is lined to right field, and that's going to be a base hit for Espinal. Stopping at second, Marte, and there are 2 aboard here for the Reds with 2 outs.
And that's why he's been so good recently. The fact that he can just take that fastball that was 95 miles an hour, almost on the black outside. It was a good pitch from Jose Berrios, and just deposit that thing into right field. That's why he's been so good recently.
Espinal and Guerrero now barking back and forth at each other, first and third base. Espinal, the runner at first, Guerrero over at third. Playfully going back and forth. David Bell had something to discuss with the home plate umpire Roberto Ortiz, but it looks like whatever they were talking about has been settled, and now the top of the order coming up for the 4th time. Jonathan India hits for the Reds here with 2 on and 2 outs. Berrios now over 90 pitches, and Zach Pop is getting loose for the Blue Jays. They lead 10-2 here in the top of the 7th. Berrios set, middle of the rubber, looks back at second at Marte, and the pitch. Slurve drops in, strike 1. Berrios trying to finish 7 for the 4th time in his last 5 starts. Righty's 0-1. Down and away. And it's part of the way the Blue Jays built this rotation, but it maybe spoils Blue Jays fans and media and coaches at times. There aren't that many guys in baseball that go this deep, this consistently. Blue Jays have a couple of guys who throw a ton of innings. 1-1 pitch hit foul, 1-2. But we're living in a 5-and-dive world a lot of the time. Berrios, though, the American League leader in innings going back to 2018. No one in the American League has thrown more than Berrios. He's ahead of Garrett Cole. 1 strike away from getting through 7. His 1-2 to India. Check swing on a pitch low, and he didn't go around. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Berrios kicks his heels into the rubber to get some dirt out of his cleats, blows into his right hand. Now he's set. The 2-2. Swing and a soft bouncer to third. Charging Guerrero, picks it up, steps on the third base bag to get the lead runner, and ends the inning. 7 strong for Jose Berrios. Only 2 runs allowed, and at the 7th inning stretch, the Blue Jays have a commanding 10-2 lead. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care. I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall,
For the strong boots to climb, I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Rogers Center. Blue Jays 10, Reds 2, in an umpire discussion right now, and I think it has to do with the new Reds pitcher. Not sure this was on anyone's bingo card coming into the day, but former Blue Jays backup catcher Luke Maley is throwing knuckleballs right now off of the Rogers Center mound, getting set to pitch here in the bottom of the 7th.
And the umpire crew actually, they huddled together and tried to figure out if that was okay for the Reds to do that. And Roberto Ortiz just gave David Bell the thumbs up. And Luke Maley is, in fact, allowed to pitch in this ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning. That is a rare sight.
And so Maley steps on, and here's the pitch to Joey Loperfido. It's high ball one at 64 miles an hour. First appearance for Maley of this series. Didn't expect it to come on the mound. 1-0. Loperfido takes again, 2-0.
And I believe he throws a knuckleball. I was watching his warm-ups, and he kind of gave that knuckleball sign to Tyler Stevenson, the catcher, and we'll see if it's any good.
He's throwing knuckleballs, or trying to. The 2-0 pitch is hit in the air right field. Hanging up for Jake Fraley. The right fielder makes the catch, 1 out. If you're wondering why the umps had to check the rule, by the way, the leading team can only throw a position player if they're up by 10 or more in the 9th inning, but the trailing team can actually throw a position player anytime as long as they're down by 8 or more. And the Reds have decided this is the time to throw Luke Maley. His first pitch to Leo Jimenez looked like something off speed. It hits the inside third, 0-1.
That's got to be scary for the pitcher. Luke Maley throwing 65 mile an hour. I don't know what he's throwing, but it's essentially BP without the fence in front of him.
They called that one a slider. His next pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, it's scary for him, but he's the one deciding to throw 50 right now. No one's forcing him to. 1-1 pitch bounces, 2-1.
I'm sure if he really wanted to, he could probably throw 85.
That's the thing. Position players used to actually go out there sometimes and throw hard. Guys don't really do it anymore as the 2-1 pitch is hit back foul, 2-2.
And then Ryan Goins had to ruin it with his Tommy John.
Well, that's the thing is that guys are worried about getting hurt. You know, I know Brett Phillips, too, became quite popular. Former Ray doing it. Leo Jimenez swings at the 2-2 and bounces it softly to first. It's picked up by Ty France, and Luke Maley, who went over to cover just in case, knowing his job, has 2 quick outs.
Luke Maley is proving to you and I that we could both go down there right now and get guys out. That last pitch was 53 miles an hour.
Maley, a Blue Jays catcher from 2017 to 2019. Right now, in his second year with the Reds, pitching a swing and a miss by Barger, who definitely just tried to go deep. It's 0-1.
Barger with a big smile on his face. I mean, this is all fun and games, but like I said, this is probably a little bit scary for Luke Maley, standing just 60 feet away from those hitters.
His 0-1 bounces to the plate. This is not new for Maley. This is actually the 9th time in his career he's pitched. He pitched twice for the 2019 Toronto Blue Jays and threw 2 scoreless innings with only 1 hit allowed. His 1-1. Swing and a foul back. Caught Barger a little bit out in front on 58. It's 1-2.
And I don't know if you saw this, but after he got Leo Jimenez to ground out to first base, he winked at Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson's probably like, man, is this serious right now? We have 2 outs and nobody's gotten on base? Little wink from Maley.
1-2 pitch. Oh, and he almost backdoored him with a slider. Just missed outside at 63, 2-2. Maley sets just below the chest. 2-2 is way up and in. Hardest pitch of the day, 76 miles an hour from Maley, and it got Barger leaning back. Full count. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back, still a full count. Well, like you mentioned off the top, they brought Mahle in the 7th. So we might see him again in the 8th inning.
He's their long guy.
He has to be right now. Jacob Junis went an inning and 2/3. He's out. And now Barger again fouls off the 3-2 as he's battling here against the mid-60s fastball from Luke Mahle.
Well, I can only assume that you don't want to walk against this guy. This is a once-in-a-season at-bat for Addison Barger. He's seeing a guy that's throwing 65 miles an hour.
Another 3-2, and it's hit high and deep down the right field line. That's going to go foul, but almost into the boxes down the right field line. Just lands deep into the 200 level.
I like this matchup for Addison Barger.
I'm enjoying it. Another 3-2, and that one's hit in the air left field. Will Benson, ranging back, is going to have room, and Luke Mahle retires the Blue Jays in order in the bottom of the 7th to keep it a 10-2 game. We go to the 8th at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's Fantasy Football Draft Month on Fantasy Sports Radio. Hear how the experts draft their teams and learn winning strategies to help you win your league.
I don't think it's crazy to take CeeDee Lamb with the first overall pick.
Don't miss our host draft right now on the all-new Sirius XM app as your favorite hosts draft against each other.
Feeling good here about Jared Goff as a mid-range QB2.
Channel 87. And if you missed any of our drafts, hear them anytime on the all-new Sirius XM app. Just search Fantasy Drafts. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
I'm John Paul Morosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Each week, I talk with a Baseball Hall of Famer about the challenges they overcame to become an all-time great.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
My legs started shaking.
They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure. Would I ever play baseball again?
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new Sirius XM app.
Network.
8th inning in downtown Toronto. The Blue Jays up by 8. 10-2 is the score right now in Game 2 of this series. Blue Jays looking to force a rubber match here, and they'll call on a new pitcher, Zach Pop, to start this 8th inning. Jose Berrios' day is done. Pop comes on to face Will Benson, Tyler Stevenson, and Stuart Fairchild, who are going to bat 2, 3, 4. It's actually Fairchild leading off, then Stevenson, then Benson. Right on right, the pitch to Fairchild. Strike one. Defensive change for the Blue Jays as well. Dalton Varsho is going to get a rest now. Joey Loperfido moves to center. Stuart Baroa into left. 0-1. Fairchild hits it on the ground up the middle and into center field. A base hit.
Luke Mahle just made it look easy, didn't he?
Luke Mahle did.
I mean, Zach Pop is probably thinking, I'm throwing 97 miles an hour with good sink, and Luke Mahle comes out here throwing 53 and gets 3 up, 3 down. That's absurd.
It is absurd. Another defensive change, by the way. Addison Barger's moved from right to third. It's actually Baroa in right, Davis Schneider's in left field, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gets a rest as well as Tyler Stevenson takes inside, ball one. So left to right in the outfield, Schneider, Loperfido, and Baroa. Barger at third base now, Varsho and Guerrero out. Pop rocks and deals. 1-0 pitch hits the outside edge, strike one. Ten-2 Blue Jays, runner on first, no outs, top of the 8th. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. If you're Zach Pop, are you almost pretending this is a close game? What's the mentality like for a reliever when they come in up 8?
You have to, especially for a guy like Zach Pop, who has struggled mightily for a lot of this season. You come into a ball game, you're fighting for that spot next year. You can't come in here thinking it's 10-2. I'm just going to throw fastballs down the middle of the plate and probably get guys out. You have to pitch like it's a 1-1 ball game.
Righties 1-2 in the dirt.
But also, Zach Pop struggles when it's a 1-1 ball game, so maybe he should pitch more like it's a 10-2 ball game. I have no idea, but Zach Pop needs to prove to John Schneider, to Ross Atkins, that he can pitch, really just get guys out at any point during any game.
45th appearance for Pop, ERA just over 6. 2-2. Swing and a liner headed toward right field. That's going to be a foul ball. Found that narrow corridor in between the retaining wall and the foul line. And it's 2-ball, 2-strike count.
You haven't mentioned how many dogs have been eaten tonight.
A lot of dogs. 57,000 of them. Yes, I think that was cool. Another Tuesday night at Rogers Center, another Looney Dogs night. 2-2 again. Swing and a bouncer to third. Barger around it. It's a fair ball. He throws to first, and the throw pulls Horwitz off the bag. Horwitz tried to catch and tag and didn't secure the ball. We'll wait on the official scoring, but regardless, Stevenson safe at first and Fairchild safe at second.
Well, I've been wrong a lot tonight, but I believe that's going to be a single for Tyler Stevenson. A pretty tough play, falling away from first base. What do you think?
I lean hit as well.
Yeah.
Looks like they have gone with hit. So back-to-back singles to start the inning for the Reds, and now Will Benson will hit for the first time into the game, batting in the spot of TJ Friedl. Right on left pitch. Benson hits it on the ground to first. Horwitz spins, throws to second one. Back to first, Pop covering, but it's not in time. That'll be a 3-6 force out and a fielder's choice. Runners on the corners now for Cincinnati as Fairchild moves up to third and Benson is safe at first.
That's an incredibly tough play for Zach Pop. Any pitcher really trying to get that throw from second base, trying to find your footing, find first base. And you can see Zach Pop was way off the bag, almost tried to do the splits to catch that baseball. Would have been safe anyways, but a really tough play.
And Benson runs very well, who hit the ball on the ground too. Tall guy, long strides. He's safe at first. And now Pop looking for a double play ball with runners on the corners, one out. Spencer Steer is up. And here's the pitch. Down and away, ball 1. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, that back-and-forth game in the Bronx continues to be entertaining. Guardians were leading the Yankees 3-2, but Anthony Volpe has tied it up at 3 on a double. 1-0 is lined to left field, base hit. Jogging home, Fairchild. Benson stops at second. It's an RBI knock for Spencer Steer, and now a 10-3 lead for the Blue Jays. For Pop, that was a sinker left a little bit up and over the plate. Wound up on the edge, but was probably meant to be off the plate. So it'll be a single to score a run for the Reds, and they're still threatening here. First and second, one out for Ty France. Blue Jays up a touchdown. Pop in the set, the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
His stuff is just so good. That last fastball, 97, with a ton of movement, a ton of sink. But I think he said, or you just said it, he leaves that ball over the middle of the plate, and it's more horizontal sink than that depth sink that we talk about.
Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1.
And when you have the horizontal sink, we call it run, but when you have the run and it's more horizontal, it's just so much easier to make good contact, and you saw it right there with that last base hit.
1-1. Swing and a liner, caught at second. Wagner, throw to first, but they can't double up Steer. They do get one out, though, to the Blue Jays. Both runners stay put on first and second, and there are now 2 outs in the top of the 8th. When you're talking about that pitch, though, for Pop, often a sinker and a two-seamer are described as the same pitch, but it's almost like he's throwing the more traditional two-seamer right now that moves arm side left to right rather than what was a sinker 10, 20 years ago, which is a pitch that moves more down.
Right.
The pitch to Jake Fraley is his slider on the inside edge. Strike one.
Zach Pop gets compared to Clay Holmes, the Yankees closer, a lot, but I think they're very different pitchers. They have the same velocity. They have a ton of movement on that fastball, natural movement.
0-1. Swing and a miss, strike
two.
two.
Clay Holmes has that depth to his fastball. It's not run. It's not the horizontal movement. He has that good vertical depth that's almost impossible to hit. When it stays horizontal, when it stays on that plane, that hitting plane, it just gets barreled up a lot, and we've seen it a lot with Zach Pop. I think it's because he gets on the side of the baseball as opposed to getting on top of the baseball. It's something that he can probably change. He just has to watch video and really try to figure it out.
His 0-2. Upstairs, ball one. Wave going around at Rogers Center from the left field pole to the right field pole. 2 outs, top of the 8th. The 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still a 10-3 Blue Jay lead.
The Reds actually do have somebody warming up right now in that bullpen. I'm not sure if Luke Maile is finished for the ball game, but
Fernando Cruz is getting loose. 2-2 is hit on a line to second. Catch made by Wagner. That'll end the inning. But because the Reds score and they're no longer down by 8, they can't put Maile back out. So we will see a traditional pitcher from the Reds with the Blue Jays up 10-3 when we come back in the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dives, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays up 10-3 on the Reds. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. My mistake going into the break. Luke Maile is still on the mound, despite the fact the Reds are no longer down by 8. George Springer swings at the 0-1 and pops it up middle of the infield. Catch is made at second by Steer. 1 out. Maile was allowed to stay in because he entered when the Reds were down by 8, so he pitches now in his second inning of work with the Reds down by 7.
Well, nevertheless, Luke Maile is absolutely rolling through this lineup. 4 up, 4 down for Luke Maile.
He's dealing something he did twice as a Blue Jay in this ballpark in 2019. Or pardon me, once in this ballpark, once on the road. His first pitch to Stuart Baroa is popped up foul into the seats, 0-1.
Can you take this to arbitration if you're Luke Maile?
You can
or
try.
Free agency?
They're going to laugh you out of the room, but you can try. Maile's 0-1. Freezes Baroa for strike 2. Maile first pitched on May 5th, 2019 in Texas. He struck out Shin-Soo Choo and allowed no hits in an inning. So far today, Maile is 4 up, 4 down. 0-2 to Berrios. Called a ball. That pitch was on the plate. And I think if you're Berrios, you really got to avoid, for the sake of your dugout reception, striking out looking to a position player. It's 1-2.
Well, Stuart Berrios actually started walking back to the dugout. He took about 2 or 3 steps back.
Now he swings at the 1-2 and hits it foul into the seats.
And then he realized that Roberto Ortiz had not called that a strike and then quickly got back in the box. But you're right. Do not strike out looking against a guy throwing 54 miles an hour.
I think that's even worse than walking. I think walking will get you in trouble with the dugout. 1-2 pitch hit foul to the left, still 1-2. But you definitely can't strike out looking. Although Maile's done that before. Second time he ever pitched was here at Rogers Center, May 25th, 2019. And he struck out 2 batters in a scoreless inning, got Hunter Renfroe and Austin Hedges to strike out. Now the 1-2 to Berrios is a 1-hopper to second, picked up by Steer, and there are 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
5 up, 5 down. It is that easy.
You can pitch in the big leagues right now if you want to. That's what Luke Maile is showing everyone. Does he have a career ERA near 10? Potentially.
Potentially.
But he just had a rough year last year. 8 earned runs in 4 1/3 last year. His first pitch to Davis Schneider hit foul down the left field line, 0-1. Schneider bats for the first time. Berrios was hitting in the spot of Varsho, Schneider hitting in the spot of Guerrero.
How many people in the stands right now are thinking, I could do that? Give me a uniform. Sign me up.
They kind of could. I think a lot of them could. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball headed down the left field line and foul again, 0-2. Well, I mean, it looks pretty clear for Schneider, going through a tough spot. He doesn't want to go down.
No. But I think the hardest thing to do for most people that they don't realize is to throw strikes at 54 miles an hour. It is incredibly hard to throw strikes at that velocity.
Really slow Ephus hit on the ground to third, and Marte throws out Schneider after a 41-mile-per-hour pitch to end the inning. Maile holding back a chuckle as he walks off the mound. He went 6 up, 6 down in 2 innings and sends us to the 9th. 10-3 Blue Jays at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Jersey to Ibiza, they say it doesn't get sweeter.
From the bustling streets of Lagos to the favelas of Rio. SiriusXM Tropics is a melting pot of rhythms from Africa, the Caribbean, and beyond. Get away to Tropics. One of more than 200 extra channels available in the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of the SiriusXM podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins.
First individual I phoned was my dad, and I told him I just got voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was kind of crying. I said, Dad, you and I are now in the Hall of Fame together. And he was pretty happy with that.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 9th inning in Toronto, Blue Jays up 10-3. Tommy Nance on the mound for the Blue Jays. Faces Noelvi Marte to start this 9th inning and starts him off with strike 1. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. Stick around after the game as Jeff Blair will have Blue Jays talk coming up just minutes after we finish. 0-1. A miss off the plate with the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nance pitching for a second straight day through a scoreless inning yesterday. 1-1. Outside 2-1. Off to a strong start to his Blue Jays career. 1 earned run in 5 1/3 innings. This is now his 6th appearance of the season. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball center field. Going back low Perfido just in front of the warning track. Stops and squeezes it. 1 out.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned that Tommy Nance got lined up. That beard is looking crisp right now. Blue Jays, of course, they have a barber in their locker room or just outside of their locker room.
I mean, pretty good.
Looking good.
Pretty good. The Pirates or Marlins have an in-clubhouse barbershop?
I think the Marlins were the first.
Okay.
It was a guy named Juice, and he would come in and just, I swear.
Pitch to Santiago Espinal, hit foul 0-1.
And he was good.
That is very Miami.
He was expensive, but he was good.
So I actually don't know the Blue Jays situation, but you got charged for the haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought the team would pay
no,
a flat.
It is a lot of money, my friend.
Interesting. Nance in the set. Here's the 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Well, I am going to have to investigate the situation here tomorrow and figure out.
It is not covered by the Blue Jays. I can promise you that.
Well, just kind of feels like that scene in Moneyball where David Justice is like, we're paying for the Coke in the locker room. 0-2. Swing and a line drive right center. Racing toward it. Stuart Baroa brings it in. And there are 2 outs in the 9th.
I actually watched that movie last night, ironically. I think the cola in the locker room was $1, right?
Yeah, but Billy likes to keep the money on the field.
The good old days.
Yeah. Great movie. Incredibly different from the actual season, but great movie. Here's Jonathan India, 2 outs, the pitch. High ball 1. It essentially tells the story of the Moneyball team if you forget their 3 great starting pitchers and the American League MVP. Other than that, it's right on the money. 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Blue Jays with a big offensive day. 5 home runs today, 10 runs in the first 5 innings. Lead 10-3, looking like they're going to even up this series. With 2 outs in the 9th, the 1-1 to India. Swing and a bouncer foul, 1-2. Loud day today at Rogers Center. Looney Dogs and big home runs have been the story. Fans on their feet here as Nance tries to close out the win. Righty in the set. Kicks and delivers. A swing and a bouncer foul, and India keeps us here for at least 1 more pitch. Six right-handed reliever set at the chest. His 1-2. Swing and a bouncer foul off to the right. Fans remain on their feet. We'll start the clap again as Nance throws a 3rd straight 1-2. Here's the pitch. Just off the plate outside with a breaking ball. 2-2. India with a pair of hits today is 2 for 4. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a soft bouncer to short. And the throw to first by Jimenez ends the game. Blue Jays homer early and often. A pair from George Springer. Back-to-back homers in the 3rd. And a great pitching performance by Jose Berrios as well leads Toronto to a series evening 10-3 win.
Yeah, what a day for the Blue Jays offense. Let's not forget Jose Berrios, those 7 innings, just 2 earned runs. He's now thrown 21 innings in his last 3 starts and given up 4 earned runs. He's been really good.
Berrios leads the Blue Jays to the win. We're going to take a step aside. When we come back, we'll wrap it up, give you your play or player of the game, and send you over to Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair. Stick around. 10-3, the Blue Jays win this one. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menandatruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menandatruck.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move them day. Think 2menandatruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menandatruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. For this life I cannot change. Hit the hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays thumped the Reds today, 10-3, even up the series with a big win at Rogers Center and set up a rubber match for tomorrow. Thanks so much for sticking around. Blue Jays Talk coming up in just a sec. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, we mentioned the great start of Jose Berrios already. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Carson Spires got the start for the Reds and really just never settled in. The Blue Jays were all over the right-hander.
Yeah, he gave up a ton of home runs, but I think the biggest thing with Carson Spires was he was just leaving too many pitches over the middle. That pitch count really wasn't that elevated when he was giving up a lot of runs to the Jays. They were just doing damage. 13 hits in the first 4 1/3 innings, and that was really all she wrote. I mean, the Reds were willing to let him just wear it out there, and he sure did.
He gave up a lot of 2-out runs as well. Had trouble closing innings. In the first inning, 2 outs and a runner on third. Blue Jays get a single from Will Wagner. In the second inning, 2 outs and a runner on third. Barger doubles, Springer homer. It turns into a 3-run inning. And then 2 quick outs to start the third inning. It's a 4-1 game, so it's not going great, but it's still a game. And at that point, the play of the game happens as Alejandro Kirk and then Spencer Horwitz come up to the plate. So a double play turned there by the Reds, 3-6-3, and now Alejandro Kirk swings at the first pitch and lifts it to left field. It's gone! Over the bullpen and into the seats, Kirk with his 4th homer of the year, and the Blue Jays extend the lead to 5-1.
How many no-doubters do you see off the bat of Alejandro Kirk? Not many. That one, pretty close to a no-doubter.
I mean, you knew right when he hit it.
Well, he knew. He took about 3 or 4 slow steps and then started his trot.
Now Spencer Horwitz drives one deep to right center field, and the Blue Jays have gone back-to-back. Horwitz turns on it and puts it into the Reds bullpen, and Toronto's up 6-1 on its 2nd home run of the inning.
Well, you just mentioned it. Both of those home runs came with 2 outs. And that's pitching 101. Don't let the other team do damage against you with 2 outs. And Carson Spires really let the Blue Jays just get all kinds of runs off of him. Lots of hard contact, especially with 2 outs.
First 7 Blue Jay runs in the game came with 2 outs before they got the no-out home run in the 5th inning by Leo Jimenez. George Springer would homer in the 5th. He had a 2-homer day, and the Blue Jays rout the Reds 10-3 to take this one. The Reds scored 3 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, 7 left. The Blue Jays with 10 runs on 13 hits, no errors, 5 left. Jose Berrios with the win, 12-9. Carson Spires with the loss, 4-5. No save today on a quick one. Despite the 13 runs, a 2-hour, 19-minute affair in front of about 35,000, over 57,000 hot dogs consumed, and the Blue Jays win 10-3 to go to 59-67. Reds are now 61-65. Rubber match comes tomorrow, 7:07 first pitch, 7:07 Eastern, with Nick Martinez going for the Reds against Yariel Rodriguez for the Blue Jays. Hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in tonight. For Stephen Coyle and Luke Swadron, our technical directors, Show Ali, our host and producer, and my partner Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your night, and stick around. It's Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair starting right now.
I'll tell you what. I mean, if we're going to be spending all this time together for the rest of the season, I mean, the least the Blue Jays can do is entertain us. Which was the case tonight, a 10-3 Blue Jays win over the Cincinnati Reds. The series is tied up at 1 game apiece. 5 home runs. Jose Berrios, another stellar outing. And we got to see Luke Maile pitch 2 innings of relief. For those of you who get your jollies watching position players pitch, congratulations, you got your fill of it tonight. I think it's an abomination. If you feel that way, or even if you don't feel that way, call up. The numbers are 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. Had Dan Schulman on Blue Jays Talk, or on Blair and Barker earlier today, and he made a comment about August and September. And one of the things he said, and I love this line, one of the things he said is, look, the Blue Jays are on a fact-finding mission the rest of this season. And that is absolutely the way to put it. Part of that, or the focus of that fact-finding, has got to be the left-handed hitters that they acquired in trades. I mean, I would think at some point, not just the left-handed hitters, we'll see Jonathan Clase up here. We're probably going to see Jake Bloss at some point as well. But he's a pitcher. But more importantly, it's sorting out what exactly the Jays have in Joey Loperfido and Will Wagner. Spencer Horwitz, as I said, I think I've said this often, I think we kind of know what the Jays have with Spencer Horwitz. And credit Loperfido and Will Wagner. They're very much part of the offense today. Not on the home run side, but Loperfido with a double and just a really, really balanced attack from the Blue Jays tonight. 13 hits in the first, 4 in the third innings. Really taking Carson Spires of the Reds out to the woodshed. Jose Berrios was awfully good again, 3rd start in a row. In his last 3 starts, 23 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. And it was interesting watching Jose Berrios tonight, because if you look at his pitch breakdown, now normally for the season, Jose Berrios throws 29% slurve, 33% sinker, 18% four-seamer, and his changeup usually comes in someplace around 16%. Well, we saw 33% of the sinker tonight, only 15% of the slurve, 20% changeup, 28% four-seam fastball. He hit 97 in his last inning of work. And John Schneider made a point earlier today when he was talking about Berrios, Gossman, and Chris Bassett. and the Jays' three most established starters, and how he was going to use them the rest of the way this season, with nothing at stake. Now, the usual caveat is just because the games have nothing at stake for the Blue Jays doesn't mean the games will not have an impact on the playoff races. They're going to be playing teams that are very much in playoff contention. So there is the integrity of the game demands that you put out your best effort. But John Schneider's point was essentially with Berrios and Bassett and Gossman, he's going to try to limit them to 100 pitches. I mean, obviously there's going to have to be some wiggle room. He's going to try to limit them to 100 pitches when they're in the game. He wants to keep them on a regular turn. The Jays have a lot of games. It's like 18 games in 17 days. Then when they get into the jaws of September, the schedule lightens up a bit. They've got 5 off days, so that'll take care of extra days rest and things of that nature. But that's how the Blue Jays are going to manage their 3 everyday starters the rest of the way, and that's important because unless something. Unless some sort of trade presents itself in the offseason, those 3 are going to very much be a part of what the Blue Jays are going to do next year. They are getting up there in age. Certainly Gossman and Bassett, Berrios to a lesser degree. They've logged a lot of innings. So that is, if not necessarily a storyline to watch the rest of the way, it's certainly something to be cognizant of as the Blue Jays finish out this season. The numbers 416-870-0590 star 591 888-666-0590. If you wish to text us, the text line is open. 590-590 is the text line. Let's go to Brendan in Alberta.
Hey Jeff, I just wanted to talk to you about Leo Jimenez and kind of, if in the off season we're going to trade Bo Bichette potentially, and that's what everybody's talking about right now, then you're going to need a shortstop who can play every day and be at least an adequate contributor at the bottom of the lineup. And I'm seeing a lot of balance right now, at least from Jimenez. He's able to stay back on that back foot, and his defense at shortstop looks really, quite excellent. He might have, he's probably the, third best upside shortstop the Jays have in terms of, Bo Bichette would be number 1. You'd probably think Arjun Namala down the road 2 or 3 years would be the next guy with the best upside potential. But Jimenez, at least as a defensive player and a little bit of offense there that he can contribute with the bat, looks like he's at least a major league player to me.
Yeah, here's the thing with Leo Jimenez. I don't think he's an everyday starter on a championship team, on a contending team. And that's what the Blue Jays, now that's what they're going to try to tell us in the offseason, that's what they plan on putting out in the field. Leo Jimenez has to show me that he can play multiple positions in order to have a spot in the team next year. Right now, I've got Ernie Clement, who can play multiple positions and is, quite frankly, a better offensive option off the bench. Bo Bichette is we've all traded Bo Bichette. God knows I've traded Bo Bichette about 100 times this season. But Bo Bichette is still with the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette still might be with the Blue Jays at the start of the year. So when you look at that, when you look at the fact that if Bo Bichette is moved, the Blue Jays are going to have to figure out a way to get more offense in here. And I don't think they're going to be able to carry players like Leo Jimenez unless they can count on them to make a significant contribution off the bench. And it'd be great if he was a left-handed hitter. I'd much rather have a left-handed hitter off the bench. And it'd be great if he could play multiple positions. Now, I think John Schneider has said he wants to give Leo Jimenez a look at a number of different positions around the infield. And why not? The organization, he's been in the organization for a while. People like him. There's a little bit of pop in that bat, which I think might surprise some people. But I would be really cautious, Brandon, about getting too carried away with anything I see, out of these guys. The bottom line is the Jays lineup has to be deeper next year. It has to be better next year. However, if that means moving Vladdy to third base, fine. Go ahead and do it. Whatever it takes to get a deeper, more balanced lineup next year. And for that reason, I mean, I'm not saying Leo Jimenez doesn't have a spot in the organization, but I would really be surprised. I would really be surprised if he is on this team next year. Would I be disappointed if he comes in and has a great spring and forces his way on the team? Would I be disappointed? No. But right now, I've got Ernie Clement, who can play multiple positions, and again is more of a factor offensively. And as my friend Kevin Barker points out about Ernie Clement, I mean, one of the things you need to do to be a good bench player in Major League Baseball is you got to be able to have a simple, easily maintained swing. You've got to be able to contribute, even if there's a 3 or 4 day span where you're not in the lineup. For that reason, I think Ernie Clement probably has a leg up. But hey, if you're Leo Jimenez, what you are doing right now when you have games like this is you're attracting attention to yourself. Right? Not just with the Blue Jays, you're attracting attention on the part of other teams. You're playing the LA Angels. You're attracting attention from the Angels. You're playing the Reds. You're attracting attention from the Reds. Now, obviously, these teams, not every team has an opening at shortstop, but you never know what's going to happen in the offseason. So, do I think Leo Jimenez is a major leaguer? He will be at some point. Will he be with the Blue Jays? I don't think so. But, again, we're dealing with a guy who's just in the really early stages of his major league career. And I'll say this, I do not mind having the ball hit to him. And, that's a start. 416-870-0590, star 590, 888-666-0590. Ty in Hamilton, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Good evening, Blair. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Perfect. I just wanted to ask, how do you feel that the next generation of Canadian baseball players are going to feel if the Blue Jays cannot get something together within the next 5 to 7 years, especially when our next generation is coming into their early teens? They're obviously the most impressionable, most eye-opening years of a kid's life.
Are you talking players or fans?
As fans into players, how do you think our kids are going to feel if Blue Jays cannot get them together as like a pridefulness, as a Canadian pride?
I mean, I don't know. It hasn't appeared to impact the Naylor family. Right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting your point here. Kids are going to play baseball regardless of whether or not the Blue Jays are good. Canadian kids are going to be drafted regardless of whether or not the Blue Jays are good. I don't think there's any connection. I just don't.
Idolship. We're looking at the next Joey Vottos, the next Romanos, the next Naylors.
I think if you're looking for quote unquote idols, the Naylors are perfect idols. Owen Casey is a prospect with the Cubs. Like there are a lot of, there are a lot of Canadian players out there. Would it be great if the Jays had a couple of Canadian stars in the team? Yeah, hell yeah, it'd be great. But I don't think there's any connection at all with it. I really don't. I mean, until 2015 and 2016 came along, there were still Canadian guys playing baseball. Who were their idols then? I mean, the Blue Jays weren't that great up to that point. The Blue Jays were in the wilderness for a long, long time. Joey Votto emerged from that wilderness. So I'm not seeing your point when it comes to players. Now, when it comes to fans, well, then I think we're talking about something different, because one of the things 2015, 2016 did, Ty, is it really turned a new generation of fans onto the Blue Jays. I mean, it really did. I'm sure, Ty, you were out at the Rogers Center then during those playoff games. The crowds were young. It was a multi-ethnic group. I mean, it was a marketer's dream. It was an absolute marketer's dream. Those fans got turned on by Batista and Encarnacion and the bat flip and all that good stuff. And yeah, I have a little bit of concern as to how this fan base would handle a rebuild. This team's had Vladdy and Bo for 6 years, 5 years, and it hasn't won a playoff series. Those are two. I mean, think about this. How many homegrown Blue Jays? How many times have the Blue Jays had two homegrown players like Bichette and Guerrero? I mean, Bichette, a guy who's a threat to win a batting title, to lead the American League in hitting for a couple of years. Vladdy, who early in his career had an MVP caliber season. He's born in Canada. His dad is a much beloved Canadian. Vladdy Sr. was much beloved by Expos fans. That's a whole hell of a lot of emotional currency to have tied up in a team. And if the Jays don't win while they have these two guys, I'm wondering what's next. And that's what concerns me. Maybe the ballpark will be enough to bring fans out here. That's entirely possible. But I'm looking at the Orioles. I'm looking at the Red Sox. I'm looking at the Yankees. I'm looking at Tampa Bay. It's going to be very easy with a lousy offseason or with a less than satisfactory offseason. It's going to be really easy for this team to get buried next year. And I don't know how the fan base would react to that. I don't know. I don't want to find out either, to be quite honest. I thought we started to see a gradual, deterioration, a softening, if you will, last year. And I think once that playoff exit happened, something happened to the trust between this front office and the fan base. And I don't know how, I don't think it's been regained this year. I think the only way you regain it is by winning. And yeah, I have a lot of concern about this fan base and how you grow it. And, what happens if this team ends up going 2 or 3, 4 years without a playoff berth? I mean, that's just not going to wash in this city. Let alone, I don't know how it's going to wash with ownership, floating a $235 million payroll. So your point is well taken by half, but I don't think it has anything to do at all with the development of Canadian players. There are a lot of good Canadian players in the minors. There'll be plenty of Canadian ball players for kids to idolize. And you know what? Things are different now, too. Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. I mean, players idolize kids or kids idolize players regardless of where they're from. I really think the whole Canadian thing gets overblown. I really do. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590, 10-3. The Blue Jays have put the boots to the Cincinnati Reds. We're going to take a break, come back here from the skipper. Go back to the phone line. Just Blue Jays talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters, the destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays game against the Cincinnati Reds. We only have a few days left in our SickKids Summer Rally. Please, if you haven't done so already, take a look at our campaign page and make a small donation. You see the work that this amazing hospital does and the lives that it changes in the greater Toronto area. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Just by being here, you have helped make a donation to SickKids because a part of our revenue goes directly to SickKids every single month. So thanks for being here. Thanks for helping us support an amazing cause. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Now let's go Blue Jays.
Which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Fastball line to left, and it's caught.
Watch live games at home or on the go.
Long run, Springer! Oh, what a play!
Plus, catch Blue Jays Central for pre- and post-game updates with Jamie and Joe. Miss the game? Replays and Blue Jays in 30 are here for your recap.
Pitching has certainly led the way.
Watch it all unfold on Sportsnet Plus. Plans start at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the ball game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Yeah, it was just kind of the one inning with the 2 walks after 2 outs. I thought his fastball was great, both 2-seam and 4-seam. Locating it well, got up when he needed to get up. I think it was just kind of, one inning that was a little bit off. Probably took his foot off the gas a little bit, but I've said it a lot where his fastball kind of sets the tone. And I think his changeup was really good today, too. So really, really aggressive with it, held it throughout the game, and probably more 4-seamers tonight than what they were expecting. And I think him and Kirky did a good job of realizing it was really good.
That is John Schneider talking about Jose Berrios. 7 strong for Jose Berrios tonight. 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Further to John Schneider's comments, the Cincinnati Reds coming into this game, probably expecting a lot more off-speed stuff from Jose Berrios than they saw. And as John Schneider pointed out, Jose Berrios, his fastball tonight was tremendous. 28% of his pitches were 4-seamers. That's over 10% higher than his average. He hit 97 in his final inning of work. 20% change-ups as well. That's above his season average. Just 15% slurves. Which is well below his season average. And absolutely, John Schneider is right. Credit Jose Berrios and Alejandro Kirk with probably completely befuddling the Cincinnati Reds with their game plan. Jose Berrios very, very much a part of this 10-3 Blue Jays win. The third and final game of this series goes tomorrow night at the Rogers Center. Chris in Stony Creek, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Jeff, great show as always.
Thank you.
Let me just make 2 points quickly, okay? I just want to touch on, I want to do the Chris Bassett, and then and I just touch on a point you said before about the lack of trust from the fan base. Like, when you're up there and you're giving the fan base a load of crap at the beginning of the season or the off season saying, don't worry, everybody just had a bad year and we're going to give them more information and then they're they're going to be better. I mean, how can you trust that? Like, if you say, Chris, come to the Blair House, we're going to have a great meal. And every time
we will have a great meal. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you we'll have a great meal. I mean, I can absolutely guarantee you that.
Thank you, but you can understand my point. Like, if you call me over for dinner and every time I come over there it's this dog shit, the next time you call me over, I'm not going to trust you, and I am definitely not going to come. And it leads me to my second point about Chris Bassett.
You can't say that word, by the way. You know that.
Oh, sorry about that, Jeff.
That's okay. Go ahead, continue. That's okay.
This thing about Chris Bassett, like it's so refreshing to hear these comments come from him, because when you hear Ross Atkins up there giving you a load, quote unquote, you know what I mean? And then finally somebody standing up and they're saying what we're all thinking and we all want to say, but we don't have the voice to say it because we don't have the platform to say it. It's refreshing to hear him say these things. It's like being in your house and you have a family member that nobody calls out, and then somebody stands up and says, that's enough, man. This is garbage. And you're like, yes, give it to him. So, listen, great show and really refreshing, the Chris Bassett stuff, and sorry for the profanity.
That's okay. It's mild profanity. You didn't use the magic profane word, so that's fine. But you came close, but you didn't use the magic profane word. Generally avoid hyphenated cuss words. That's usually a good rule to follow in life and indeed on the radio as well, or TV for that matter. Chris, listen, look, I had no problem with what Chris Bassett said. I had no problem with the way the whole thing was handled. I had no problem with him going to Arden and Shai and putting his comments in context. I had literally no problem with it at all. I would caution people, and I made this point with Bunkus this morning. Here's the thing. Chris Bassett was on a podcast that he is very much a part of. He's a regular contributor to the podcast. He could have spent, instead of coming out and saying, I could spend 45 minutes talking about blah, blah, well, then spend 45 minutes. It's your freaking podcast. Spend a whole hour and tell us what's going on if you want. Don't kind of lay that out there and then pull back, right? Like, it's like he said, I don't want to speak for Vladdy, and then he went on and spoke for Vladdy. So don't be doing that. That's the only thing I had an issue with. But yeah, look, did I disagree with anything he said? Nope. I certainly didn't disagree with anything he said. And I'm willing to bet that 99.9% of the Blue Jays fan base didn't disagree with it as well. And I'm willing to bet 100% of his teammates didn't disagree with it. And I'm also willing to bet that a lot of the coaches didn't disagree with what Chris Bassett said as well. Anyhow, that's it for us tonight. 10-3, a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk. Game 3 of this series goes tomorrow night at the Rogers Center. I'll be back after the game. I'll be back tomorrow as well from 4 to 6 Eastern on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet with Blair and Barker. I'll be there. Maybe Barker will make a guest appearance. Who knows? Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Scarborough on Shepherd Avenue, on St. Clair Avenue, and of course, can't forget these folks, on Midwest Road. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. They are Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game. Calling this game. Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams. The ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Red Sox on Internet 8:43. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres taking the Minnesota Twins. Padres on Sirius 160, XM 186, and Internet 862. Twins on Internet 856. 9:40 p.m., Oakland A's take on the Tampa Bay Rays. A's on Sirius 162 XM 185 and Internet 859. Rays on Internet 866. 9:45 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Chicago White Sox. Giants on Sirius 158 XM 187 and Internet 863. White Sox on Internet 845. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers take on the Seattle Mariners. Dodgers on Sirius 85 XM 188 and Internet 853. Mariners on Internet 864. Spanish feed on Sirius 139 XM 189 and Internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Tuesday, August the 20th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are